now, Sam.
Okay.
Now.
That's how we usually start.
I know. That's why it's. Now it's on you, Sam.
Are we good?
I think we're good, man.
All
Hey,
right.
Sam, good to see you.
All right. How you doing?
I'm good. It's great to see you as always. Michael Limon, what's up, buddy? Good to see you and good to see everybody out there. It's a very huge and special day. The President of the United States has chimed in on this. The President of Daiwa will be here shortly, right?
That's right.
Yes, and who else is coming? Anybody else? Well, we got Michael
Got
Limon.
some wings coming. Bob Gifford.
Bob Gifford's got wings coming. I think we've got Tri-Tip coming, perhaps. I don't want to put anybody I won't even mention, but
Yeah.
we got Scott Buchert has already contributed to our show tonight.
Nice,
it's a
Scott.
big celebration, and of course, we are going to debut, excuse me, the Daiwa Lexa 500 tonight. It's a big night, isn't it?
It is. It
Yes.
is. Well, people have been waiting for this reel for a while. So
Yes.
I know guys have been wanting to check it out. I had actually a couple guys come through today, and we're checking it out. I was showing it to them. So
Well, you're not
it's
supposed to
official.
show it. No, wait a minute now. What are you doing? It's supposed to be on the show. Just take that back. Everybody out there, this is the first time. Hey, Sam, now my question is, do we tease this for like 3.5 hours and show it at midnight tonight? Or
How are you
do
going to
we...
tease it in 3.5 hours? We're only going to be here for like an hour.
Oh, we are? So. Dan wants to party here tonight, and Michael Limon, who knows?
Maybe in dog years, yeah.
By the way, Luna and Diego have got to come to the next surf fishing thing. I know they had a school project.
Yeah.
That's way more important, obviously. But we had really a lot of fun. Right, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
Maybe
good
we could do
fishing.
like a monthly thing down there or something like that,
Well,
maybe.
that was what everybody asked me to do. They said, can you do a monthly thing? And I said, well, why not? I'll go crazy making breakfast burritos. I actually did the morning briefing the night before because I knew I had a 2-hour cooking session in the morning. So then I did like a dozen burritos, and it was a great day.
Well,
A
you
lot
get
of
guys involved. Maybe some guys can volunteer some of that too.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
sure they
sure.
will.
Yeah.
I'm sure if we turn that into a potluck kind of thing, I
Yeah.
guarantee you that's what would happen.
There you go.
Great idea. Hey, good to have you with us here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel with Sam De La Torre here in Carson, California at Island Fishing Tqckle. How long has the hype on the Lexa 500 been going on?
Well, I mean, technically it's been going on for over a year because,
Yeah.
we've been waiting for it. I mean, more than that. But they kind of put the news out about a year ago that they were working on it and testing them out and things like that. And so, true to any manufacturer, they want to make sure that they keep the wraps on what's going on with the development of it and things like that. And so they do a whole bunch of testing.
Dan, wake up.
Hey,
Will you
Dan.
quit playing games and open the door?
Yeah.
We got a chicken delivery and Dan's playing poker on his phone.
And so, but officially, as far as it being like finalized and good to go, it was pretty much at the beginning of the year. And so, ever since then, guys have been, hot to check it out. And so now it's here, it's official. They gave us a date of pretty much the PCS show being the first time to be able to check it out. And so that's kind of what we're doing here. This is not for sale, the one we have here, but we did order a bunch of them. We did a pre-sale deal a couple weeks ago. We sold out of those right away, so that was kind of cool, just to show the excitement for them. But we got one here to show in case guys have questions. We can go over those.
All right, perfect. Jim Stadler, I don't know if you know Jim, but
I don't.
How long have we known each other? 40 years? 50 years? Yeah.
976 tuna.
976 tuna fishing on the Conquest, going to East Cape. Yeah, lots of good times.
That's
So,
awesome.
Jim, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. We invited a studio audience down, and we would turn the camera around and show you, but there's far too many people
Far
to get
too
in the
many,
frame.
yeah.
And somebody will get cut out, and then you're going to have that complaining on it. Almost 100 people watching already.
Almost, yeah.
No, there are actually.
Oh, yeah,
It's going good here. All right, so it's been a while. The hype's been real. Have you gone through it? Have you checked it out? What's your opinion of?
I mean, I haven't opened it up. It just got dropped off here a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So it's not something.
So we're going to open it right now?
Yeah. So
I'm excited.
But just from looking at it, feeling it, you kind of get an idea for what the concept was. I know that they've done a few things on the inside to beef it up. It's a bigger reel, but overall, it's actually very similar to the 400, and so that's kind of what we want to check out today. But yeah, I mean, it's doesn't seem to be like a lot of changes except for that it holds more line.
Yeah.
Which that's the primary thing. We want to fish bigger line on the reel, so we need to be able to hold more of that bigger line. So this reel, I think, all day can handle the stress, but you put big line on there, you just don't have enough on there.
Right.
And so that's what they've done with this one, is that they've increased the line.
Well, what size bluefin are we talking about with Lexa 500? Up to what size?
Up to what?
If you had to just ballpark it.
You know, I mean, it's going to be something that I would say is comfortable up to 100-pound tuna.
Okay.
You know, I'm sure guys are going to catch bigger fish than that on it. The Tranx 500, which is kind of like where it competes as far as line capacity, has caught plenty of fish in that 150, you know, even up to, I know some 200-pounders have been caught. When you start talking about stuff like that, you got to have some things go your way, you know. And so when you start talking about what can this thing do, the mistake sometimes comes in that people will take it as a recommendation for that size fish.
Yeah.
And so that's not what we want to do today. We don't want to like speak about it as far as a recommendation. If there's 200-pound fish out there and you hook it on this reel, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to land it. But 1 time out of 10, you will.
Yeah.
And so as long as you're willing to go through 9 before you catch 1, this is the reel for you. Or any reel of this size. Not this reel in particular, but anything that's kind of this stature. You know, can it be done? Yes. And will it be done? Yes. The odds are against you. But once you get into that, like, I would say 50 to 80-pound fish, I don't see any issues with that reel holding up.
So if you're like, you know, in a bite on 20 to 50-pound bluefin, you're good.
You're good.
You're more than good.
The reel will hold up just fine. And really, this reel isn't, once again, you know, as far as recommendations, it's not what I would recommend as your go-to reel for live bait fishing. The reason being, it's a single-speed reel. We have a lot of reels, you know, to our access that actually are even more affordable, even within Daiwa's line, that will probably land a fish much faster. So that's kind of really what we're trying to do. So we want to hook a fish, and we want to land a fish. So this is going to allow you to hook a fish easier because you can cast easier and things like that. But landing the fish is always going to be easier on a 2-speed reel. So we want to take that into consideration when we're talking about this, is that it's not really a recommendation for that size fish specifically. There's other reels that are going to work better, but maybe a certain application. Now we're talking throwing jigs for like yellowtail, throwing poppers, which is really hard to do on a conventional reel, and things like that. That's going to be where this reel shines. And I think that this is not going to replace your, let's say, you know, a Talica 10 or Talica 12. It's not going to replace that. You know? It's not going to do what that reel does as far as fighting a fish, but it will probably outcast those reels. And really, that's where this reel is going to shine. And I think, you know, if we get this yellowtail back, locally,
which looks good here so far this year.
So if that continues to be, and that yellowtail starts to come and it starts to eat the iron real good, that's going to be a reel that you're going to see a lot on the boat. And there are other stuff down below too. You know, guys going to Cedros, Bay of Valet, those kinds of things. You know, guys fishing for Cabrilla, you know, and those kind of places where they already kind of use a smaller reel or a more modern reel with braid. That reel definitely is going to fall within that very, very well.
Yeah, and I'm glad you moved off the bluefin for a moment and started talking about other species, because this reel has all those applications that you just described.
Right. Yeah, I mean, nowadays, because of the bluefin that we've had, we measure everything against that.
Yeah, right.
You know, how big a tuna can I catch? Well, you know, 25 years ago, the biggest tuna that was available was a 40-pound tuna.
Right.
So that would handle all that, no problem. A jig master would or anything like that, no problem. Nowadays, you know, it's a 250-pound tuna is a possible tuna. So now you have to kind of, you know, bring that into the conversation. So
Man,
that, you know,
it's crazy when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
We'll be taking all your questions tonight. I see a lot of questions already up there, 112 people watching right now, 123 now. So we thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you're able to do that. And as I said, Sam's going to take the reel out and go through it, show it to you. I'm excited, man. It sounds like a great piece of equipment. And what is it going to retail for?
The price that they've gave me was $450.
And that seems very reasonable.
That's actually pretty good, seeing as the Tranx is $550. Now the Tranx is still, you know, it kind of looks like a little bit bigger reel on the outside, but we're going to have to see.
Yeah.
You know,
it does look, huh?
I mean, it's, you know, looking at it side by side here.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're pretty similar, really, if you look at it, you know, just from a side profile. One of the things about the Tranx line is that, in general, the 400 in comparison to the Lexa 400 is actually smaller.
Yeah.
So the 500 being that is a competitor to this, technically it's about the size. If you look at the 400 Tranx and the 400 Lexa and the 500 Tranx, they're not that far off. I mean, yeah, it's bigger for sure, but,
Yeah.
but it's not like it's twice as big.
Right.
And so now taking this 500, it's going to be the same type of deal there, where if you look at it, from a profile perspective, they're not that much different in size.
Look pretty similar.
The width, also about the same size. What I would say is that just from the outside, quick look, is that maybe it sits a little bit lower. So that's going to be, I think, where you're going to feel, most guys are going to feel the difference, is that when you go to cast, it's going to feel like a smaller reel because it sits a little bit lower on the rod. Past that, I mean, I think you're talking about a very similar reel. I mean, once you get it on the rod.
You hear our studio audience is getting excited
screaming
out
out there,
there.
yeah.
Man, they're screaming and having so much fun. We love it when people come here and they just focus in on the show and let out a yell. It's always great to see that kind of stuff. 140 people almost.
Wow.
What do you think about that, man?
Well,
You're a very popular man.
Let's get some of these questions.
All right, let me
before
jump
we get
into
too
some
far
questions
behind,
here.
yeah.
And let's start out with our dear friend Scott Buchert, who has sent $30 over already
Wow.
to show his appreciation for the show. Scott, we love you, man. Thank you so very much. Scott is actually working, but he has earphones on so he can hear every word. You want to say anything to Scott?
How you doing, Scott?
He can't answer you. All right, Eclipso. Hey, Phil, thanks for throwing some updates into the podcast feed. Hey, my pleasure. I should do a little bit more of that and just mention the Pacific Dawn fishing down at Collinette had 6 bluefin tuna, 15 to 70 pounds. Great sign.
It's happening.
And there you go.
Yeah.
It's starting to happen already. They also, down that way, the Tribute, I believe, had like 12, 13 yellowtail. All those guys had great lingcod and red fishing. The Old Glory hooked maybe a dozen bluefin tuna and ended up with 3 BFT. So these guys were not going down there for bluefin tuna. They're going down for the rockfish and the yellows, and the bluefin are there. So God only knows. You throw 20 boats on that and they spread out. Who knows what's going on right now? Sam, we get that indication, though, every single year early when the Mexican seiner fleet reaches their quota after a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And so that tells us that it's pretty good. But this confirms it. And the Polaris Supreme is going to start running trips here really, really soon. So, yeah, Eclipso, no problem. My pleasure to do that. My commute is my best chance to get your content. So the podcast is much appreciated. Really, our pleasure. Tackle Shop Confessions podcast episode rock. I hear that all the time, man. People love this show in particular. They love
cool,
this
man.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my vision was, I don't know that much about the technical end of this.
Yeah.
If I team up with Sam, who knows everything about it, we should be golden, man. And
I know a lot about a few things, yeah.
Oh, man.
There's a lot out there.
It really works.
Fishing-wise, it's crazy.
We're going to show you the reel. We're going to answer more questions about it. Travis Bright. Phil, what's the code for Ventura Sport Fishing? Thanks. So if you go to the Ventura Sport Fishing website and you put in pre-season 20, they'll knock 20% off any trip until April 1st. So that's it, Travis. Pre-season 20. Glad I remembered that. All right, Rob S. Phil, missed the surf fishing, but watched the morning briefing. Glad to see those kids making memories rather than playing computer games. Keep up the good works. Rob, thank you so much. Oh, he's gone, but he was having a really good time. Here's one of those kids right here.
Wings have beckoned him.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, they're over there munching on wings. And Jim, you're welcome to help yourself over there. If you want a chicken wing, help yourself. All right, Dansky, stoked to see the new reel. I've always wondered why no one competed against Shimano in the 500 class.
Sometimes we forget, that it takes a long time to develop a reel. When Shimano came out with this reel, it's got to be at least 15 years now, almost seems like, maybe at least 10 years that the Tranx 500 came out. Now, when they had come out with it, I'm sure it was in development for 4 or 5 years before it came out, so it does take a while, and I think that it took a while for Lexa or for Daiwa to continue to develop the different kinds of reels that they made, and they finally decided, okay, I guess we got to make a bigger reel. But I'm sure this reel has been in development for some years, and I know they probably have looked to address this size for a while. All that kind of stuff is really kind of mystery to us as far as all of the inner workings of how someone goes about making a new
How
reel.
much effort it takes. And,
all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I'm sure that they've been kind of thinking about it and working on it for a while, but we're glad it's here now.
Can people come and buy this right now? Do you have a whole bunch here?
No, zero right now. So this is literally one salesman sample that he dropped off for us to show today on the show. And so this one here isn't even for sale. We did do the pre-sale thing that I asked him if we can do. And he said, yeah, so we sold those out real quick. But the official first date of availability, as far as I understand, was going to be the PCS show. So
Okay.
as far as I understand, those things were being air freighted in this week, and we're basically going to be allotted to all the people that are participating at the PCS show.
So the PCS show is going to be a big deal in terms of getting this reel, right?
I mean, yes and no, in the sense that I think they're going to be gone the first day. So it's going to be a big deal until they're out.
You're right.
They're not going to have 100 for everybody. You know?
Right.
So, or they're not going to dole them out like 5 a day. Or I think they're going to give us whatever our allotment is.
And people are going to come in and buy them,
the
and
first
they're
10
going to be
guys
gone.
are going to want them, and they're going to be gone. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So we'll see how we handle that. We may try to save some for Saturday or something like that, just so that the weekend crowd has a chance at one too. But we're not really sure. With the ones that we pre-sold, we may have pre-sold half of what we had coming to us. We ordered when the ability to order this reel became a thing for us. We ordered, I think, 40 of them, but I don't think we're getting 40. I think we're going to get maybe 15 or 20 at the most.
At the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we pre-sold some of those, so like I said, we may be already half out.
And do you think everybody else is in the same boat pretty much?
I think
yeah,
so.
Right?
I think so.
So if you're going to get one, you got to get there early Thursday. And
I would say so.
Good
for
luck
sure.
still, right?
Yeah. And you got to, probably I would say is find a shop that you can get to real quick. Look at the map. They've got those maps out there. And just try to get there first, and then maybe buy it, and then go shop around for your other stuff. I wouldn't make that like the last thing you want to do.
Yeah, okay, very good. Jeff Yeomans, Jeff, thank you for your services. Good evening, Phil and Sam. Will Sam be at the PCS show? Dansky wants to know.
Yes, we will.
The answer is 100% yes, right? David Alcantar, howdy party people. Stoked to get out on the Dolphin tomorrow for a half day. Well, we can do a little update on that because their wintertime bass bite has been good. Tomorrow is Tuesday. So I think they do their halibut fishing on Wednesday and Sunday, if I remember right. I mean, they have a derby going on.
Okay.
Wow, speaking of that, this native son, huh? Yeah, you've heard, haven't you?
Yeah.
But so good luck. Best of luck to you. I hope you do really, really well. Well, I might as well tell you, the native son with a couple fish over 30 on Saturday.
Yeah.
16 fish on Sunday.
Yeah.
This halibut bite is
And that's
insane.
just the legals.
Right.
So I mean they're catching a bunch of other fish too, so that's some bass on top of that. So it's some pretty good fishing.
In fact, they've driven away from some of the bass bites. It's like, hey, we want to focus on the halibut, man. This would be cool, but it's been really good. My understanding is also in Monte Carlo today had good bass fishing and a 30-pound halibut.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. I mean, that's something you would see like once a season, a big halibut. I mean, out front. From a party boat. Now they just seem like they're getting them every week.
Do you know Dan Burns? You do?
Yes,
Oh,
unfortunately.
you have my sympathy. I'm so sorry. You can seek psychological help. I have. Dan sent me a photo last night. The Chubasco out of Long Beach Sport Fishing had 7 ice halibut and a big white sea bass. So all that squid is paying dividends finally. All that whole food chain thing.
That boat, that's like the perfect boat for that kind of fishing.
Yeah.
Nice little boat.
Nice and stealth and really, really works well. All right, good stuff. Michael Limon says, hi, Friedman Adventures family. I think that's him right there.
That's that guy right there.
Spastic D, Dolphin doing well on those half days. That is for sure. Good luck out there, David, says Dansky. Hope the bass continue to bite. That's the Friedman Adventures family. Look at this. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Dollars.
Michael Limon. Robert Graber was watching him catch fish on the Danny Kadota Show the other night. He said, I'll give that kid $1 for every fish he catches.
Oh, there you go, $8.
How's that?
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know who Chris is, but Robert Graber is thrilled that you're happy. So good job, Michael. Keep up the good work, okay? Isaac says, good evening, everybody. So does Patrick and Sarah Harnjack up there in Montana. Great to see them. And Halibut Man Mitchell, I really like what I see on that table. By the way, Mitchell was at our surf fishing event, helped out immensely, provided a grand prize and another prize, which Michael won. You took a look at his little tackle box, right? So, Mitchell, thank you for doing that. Really doing it. Michael Limon in the house. Phil and Sam. Robert Graber, good evening, Phil and Sam. And the Friedman Adventures family. Let's see that reel. I wonder if we need to hold that reel up a little closer to the camera. What do you
Let's
think?
catch up with these things in.
Okay, yeah.
We'll do some of that, yeah.
Do we have a ton of these? Have you looked?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
We got about a half hour here.
Lexa 500 looking really nice. We're still going to show you some close-ups, everybody, of that, and we'll answer all your questions. Rick Winter says that Lexa 500 looks really nice. Robert Graber, is Michael buying you all some wings from his fish catching profits? Yeah, really. Actually, it's Bob Gifford, who's always really generous. And I have to tell you, man, he went out and bought these really cool microphones, which we're using, and that changed everything. So thank you, Bobby. He does not like to be on camera, or I would run out there and put the camera on him, but he would be very angry with me. Let's see. Rick Winters says, hey, Sam, are you recommending nothing but 80-pound braid on that puppy?
I think if you're going to be doing some jig fishing, like in the shallows, maybe down there, Baja, Cedros, down there, maybe a Bay of LA type of fishing, probably 80 pounds what most people are going to put on there. I think 65 is going to be what most guys are going to fish locally. I think you'll get 300 yards of 65 on it, maybe 200 yards of 80. And so it just depends on how much line capacity, especially if you're going to be fishing bluefin, any kind of live bait capacity, you probably want a little bit more line as well, just in case you're doing a long soak or something like that. So 50 to 80 pound, depending on your application.
All right, very good. Mitchell says, hey, Michael, score me some of those reels, and I'll get you prime and tons of chicken wings. Trying to bribe Michael Limon here. Let's see. Angle R. Good evening, Sam, Phil, and everyone. Christopher Navarro, good evening, Phil, Sam. I am. The Lexa 500 looks big. Size-wise, how does it compare to the Tranks?
Yeah, I think that's what we were looking earlier.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty similar. It sits a little bit lower, but, I mean, if you see it here right next to each other, it doesn't really differ that much. So when I first saw it, the guy first brought it and was talking about bringing it on the show, I felt like it was smaller than what I see now in front of me, but it really isn't that much smaller than the 500. It's about the same width overall, but a little bit lower maybe.
Is there any idea, you talked about the limited amount that you're going to have to sell when the next bunch will come in, or is there any idea about that?
I think that they're probably going to have those, what did he say? Something like maybe beginning of June or something like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, by the time we get into the meat of the fishing season, they should be pretty available. I think that one of the things that's happening as well is that I was actually talking to the Shimano guys the other day about the 500 Tranks and about, it's being hard to get. It was kind of a West Coast thing in the beginning because throwing iron, but apparently even the guys on the East Coast are starting to get it too. So, in fishing some of the stripers and things like that out there, fishing lures, I think this Lexa 500 might suffer from the same thing. They're going to bring over so many, thinking it's kind of a West Coast thing, but I think
East Coast is starting to get them.
Guys are going to start buying them too. So we'll have to see, what we get in that next round. But I got to say that I wouldn't be surprised if come July or August they're kind of hard to get again. So as soon as we get them in, I'm pretty sure they're going to go out.
Hey, I've got some free Bart Hall Boat Show tickets. Anybody interested out there? Let us know here in the chat, and then if there's enough of you, I'll ask a question. The only thing is you're going to have to come down here to Island Fishing Tqckle and pick them up. That's okay with you, right,
Sure,
Sam?
That's fine.
Yeah.
As long as, it's for this weekend, right?
Yeah, it's for this weekend. Today's Monday, so there's plenty of time to do
all
it.
Week, yep.
Come down here and shop, have fun.
Get your tickets.
Yeah, get your tickets. So if anybody out there is interested, let me know. Otherwise, there's some people in our studio audience. What an audience we have tonight.
That's pretty good.
Man, look at that Dan Lighthouse or Lightfoot or whatever his name is. He's just so focused on us,
Yeah.
I'll take a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Rocket Dog says, good evening, fellas. Tackle, shop, confessions in full effect. Robert Graber, hit that like button, folks. We would love it if you do that. 160 people watching right now, and we would love you to hit that like button. We deeply appreciate your great support. Good evening from Northern California, says Gary Bush. Montana, Northern California, Missouri. Man, we're rocking here tonight. Gabriel de la Trinidad. Hello, guys. I can't miss the Monday night school fishing, man. Hey, I'm glad you are here. Gary up there in Northern Cal wants to know what the line capacity is. Sam's already anticipating and reading about it right now.
Looks like 200 yards of 80. It says 382 yards of 60, but I venture to say it's probably going to be more like 340 or 325 of 60. It also depends on how full you want it, but plenty of line on this guy here. I think we're going to be good on line capacity.
And once again, you're talking 100-pound bluefin, a little bigger than that. Like you say, you can catch bigger fish than that, no doubt about it. But you got to kind of play the odds in these things. You don't want to be undergunned.
Right.
And if, like I said, you're fishing that, a lot of that bluefin we were catching last year out on Tanner and stuff was 20 to 40.
Yeah. And
Perfect.
and it's not even for the size of fish. It has nothing to do, that's not the way we want to measure this, is how big a fish can I catch. That's the wrong way to look at this,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. It's really more to be able to use it in a capacity in which it's the only way to get bit. So meaning that you're throwing a popper or a jig and maybe throwing into the wind. You know, if we get into some of that fishing where it's kind of like that, chasing down, boiling fish or stuff like that, that run and gun style fishing, sometimes the task isn't finding the fish, it's getting a lure in the middle of those fish because it's hard to cast into the wind. It's impossible, really.
Yeah.
And so, not that you're going to be casting into like a 40 miles of wind, but while you're moving, the cast on that Lexa 500 is definitely going to be a lot easier to accomplish than it would be on a larger reel. So that's really where it's going to perform. Also, just casting jigs in general, that's where I would be using it. I wouldn't really be using it for a live bait reel, not because it can't do it, but because I have other reels that do that better. So it's.
Is it a good reel for fishing barracuda?
Yeah, fine.
Perfect,
But once
right?
again, I mean, if I was looking for a barracuda reel
Yeah.
and I was going to recommend one,
Yes.
that wouldn't be the one that I would recommend. I probably would recommend like a 300 size.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean.
But it'll work in the pinch, right?
Yeah.
And for sure, catching forkies, on right.
Throwing iron
Yeah.
is going to be where I think it does it better than most other reels. And that's kind of where I want to really shine the light on what it's going to do the best or what it's going to do better than something else. And maybe a reason to buy it because you have, most of our viewers, I would imagine, have a few reels.
Yeah.
And so we're looking for a reason to buy this reel. The reason would be if you're looking for a reel to help you cast a jig better or a popper better, I think 100% this is going to do that. 100%.
Every time Michael Limon leaves, that's one less chicken wing at least that you and I are going to get a
I
shot
think it's
at.
way more than one.
I think you're right, man. Sniper Gene wants to put you to work. We're almost at 200 viewers there a second ago. He says, can you compare the specs of the Lexa 500 to the Tranx 500, weight, drag, line capacity, etc.?
I think they're pretty equal as far as that. I mean, picking it up here, we could put it on a scale just to see for sure, but in fact, I'll do that here. But pick that up. I think they're pretty similar. I think the line capacity
terms
is
of
very
weight?
similar. Yeah.
Yeah, the Tranx feels a little heavier perhaps.
Yeah, the line capacity is almost identical. The drag capacity looks to be almost identical.
Okay.
Now, one of the things I will say, and this is not a knock towards anybody or Daiwa or anything else, is that the Tranx has been proven. It's already been out, like I said, 15 years or so. The last 5 or 6 years, 10 years, it's caught a lot of big fish already, documented. A lot of customers that have caught, 200-pound tuna on them, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you can't deny that this has done the work. It's been out there. It's performed. We're going to see what the Lexa does here this year. I don't think you should have an issue with it, but I hate telling somebody, yeah, this is going to work without knowing if anybody's even ever used it. I'm sure they've done some testing on it and things like that, but we're going to see what it does. I think it's going to do well, but this one has already done well. So
Yeah, right.
that one's, what was it?
139, 140.
Yeah, 1 pound, 4 ounces. And this is 1 pound, 1.6 ounces. So it's an ounce and a third, so a little over an ounce lighter.
Okay. It felt a little lighter,
which I don't
actually.
think is a big deal.
Sam, on the braking systems, is there one you prefer?
So that's going to be one place where they do differ. Whereas the Tranx has a
And people couldn't hear that question, so go ahead and repeat that.
Bob Gifford was asking about the casting assistance. Here, this has a variable brake system, which basically is something that has been around for a long time. And the way that thing works is that these weights here, when you go to cast, they get pushed out by the centrifugal force, so it's a centrifugal brake system. And what they do is that they will then afterwards will ride on this stainless steel ring, so providing a little bit of friction. So it's kind of like your thumb.
Yeah.
And it actually works really, really good. It seems very unsophisticated, but it works very, very good. This guy here, it's a seal system, same as our 400s are, but it's magnetic. Now the difference between that is that because it is magnetic, it is the amount of force that's being put on the spool or the amount of drag, it changes by how fast it's spinning.
Uh-huh.
So the faster it's spinning, the more magnetic field it's putting out. And so it's dynamic in that way. So the casting assistance for that one technically is a little bit better, meaning, by better meaning that you should get a little bit farther cast
Yeah.
with it, because it's going to change the amount of pressure that it's putting on there throughout the cast.
Oh, wow.
Same like you would with your thumb.
Yeah.
When you go to cast, at the very beginning, you're putting a lot to kind of control the spool. And then afterward, maybe even a third of the way, you might even let go of the spool once you kind of have everything synced up as far as your casting. So that's kind of what that does. So your casting should be a little bit better. Is it going to be 10 times better? No. You might get another 15 or 20 feet, which at times might be the difference, especially throwing iron.
So Lexa 500, you think is going to be better for casting, at least for casting, right?
Yeah, to a small degree, maybe 10% better or something like that. And
All
that
right.
may or may not matter sometimes, but sometimes it may.
Yeah. Excellent question, Bob Gifford. Jose says, hey guys, I had talked to the Daiwa rep at the Bard Hall show, and he said they were able just shave the sides to increase spool size, and that it's pretty much the size of the 400. Does that seem true to you?
Not from looking at it here. If I just look at the inside of it, I doubt that this spool is that much thicker on the sides, from what I'm seeing here. So, it looks like a wider spool, to me. So,
All right, there you are.
I'm not sure if the way that maybe that the guy explained it may have been kind of different or something. I don't know.
All right, hit that like button, everybody. 153 people watching. Great show tonight, Sam. I'm learning a lot about all this. Steve Nyes, taking a knife out and digging it into my side. What a rat fink he is sometimes.
Digging what into your side?
Well, listen to him. He's like, we've seen the reel. Now, where's the swag?
What swag?
My swag. I'm sure he's digging me
Well,
on
you
that.
said you were working on it,
Well,
right?
so yeah, I said I was working on it. I went to lunch with Bart Hall at Rafaelo's today in San Pedro. Walked in, and the guy that does my hats was sitting there. Chuck, what is Chuck's name? I can't remember. Chuck was sitting there, and he goes, hey, how many hats do you need, man? I'll start doing them right away. So there you go, Steve.
So
well planned out.
How many did you get?
I told him 12 dozen.
And how about shirts?
That's
a different guy?
I got to walk into another restaurant and run
okay,
into some guy that, you think these plan any of this? Thank God.
I know.
My higher power
I don't think you planned it for
led
sure.
me to Chuck today. Oh, my God. All right, Steve, there you go. Rafael Llamas is one of the nicest guys. Mi hermano Rafael and your familia. Espero ver todos ustedes muy pronto. Great guy. He just put on a rib feast for us over at his house here recently. Rafael, I hope you're feeling better too. Last time I talked with you, I know you were doing good. He says he's got the 300 and the 400. He needs to get the 500. Mi hermano Felipe, he says. So, yeah. What's the advice on that? Just
get down there. If you can get down there, that's going to be a way to get it.
Yeah.
I got to imagine that shortly after, like some of those online sites are probably going to start having it, but it seems like within another couple months that we should be getting them in stock again.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very good.
If you don't get down to the show.
Everybody, we're trying to catch up on all the questions. We got a lot of questions there. Once we do, we're going to show you more of this great reel and continue answering your questions all night long. Tonight's Spastic D. Jose, it looks wider from my couch. I have a 400 HD. Robert Graber, hey Sam, do you carry the Angler R pliers Phil featured, and will you have them at the PCS show?
I don't.
Those are Michael. Why am I blowing? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Just my brain is shot tonight. Too many podcasts I've been doing, man. All right, but you can order those online. You know?
Yeah. Maybe he can chime in to see if there's somebody that's going to have them at the show and.
Yeah, David. David said he might be at somebody's booth selling them. So, David, if you're watching tonight, let us know. And I know he's offering a discount to Friedman Adventures fans, so I'll figure out what that is here by the end of the show and let you know, Robert. Michael Limon, Sam, do you recommend lure or live bait for barracuda?
Lure.
Always.
Yeah.
Bait fishing sucks for barracuda, doesn't it? It's just. I don't know.
If you need to get some numbers, then you got to do what you got to do. You know?
Right.
Sometimes, growing up, sometimes they let you on the boat, and if you caught some fish, you didn't have to clean the boat.
Yeah, right.
So you did whatever you can do.
Yeah.
I hate to clean the boat more than fishing bait. So if they weren't biting the jig that day, I'd use bait. But if I could get them on the jig, I'd fish the jig.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. All right. Hey, tomorrow you'll be able to watch the Bart Hall in an interview I did with him. I'll run that tomorrow on the great boat show he's got coming up March 1st through the 3rd at Pomona Fairplex. I'm thinking about going out there Saturday now because Bob Gifford said he might go and Dan Lightfoot said he might go, Michael Limon. It's always a good time, so we'll see about that. Let's see, Robert Slegers. Which reel has better free spool, the Tranx or the Lexa?
I think they're pretty similar. You know, spinning them here, I was actually I saw the question, so I was
Yeah.
trying to get ahead of it here a little bit. It looks like just straight free spool, meaning how long will one spin versus the other. It looks to me like the Tranx is spin a little bit longer. Now that doesn't always mean it's going to cast farther. Sometimes it means it has a heavier spool, so there's more inertia and it's just going to spin longer for that reason. And then also, like I was saying earlier, is that this one here is always going to have some influence from the magnetic brakes. So no matter what you do, you're always going to have some of that going on there too, which is another reason why I was saying before is that, I mean, for throwing iron, I think this one's going to probably cast farther.
Yeah.
But that's going to be also depending on the guy casting, you know. But this one here, just from spinning the spool, it looks like the Tranx spins a little bit longer. But honestly, from what I've seen in the past, these Lexa reels just cast so good.
Yeah.
That's going to be where it shines, just throwing a jig.
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds like such a fabulous reel for that. All right, 132 people watching. Please hit that like button, everybody. Spastic D says he's definitely going to put a 500 on his jig stick. Michael Limon, Sam, what lure do you recommend for the surf? Fishing the surf.
Fishing the surf. Probably can't do it much
Don't
better.
say anything about what I told you. It's a secret.
Can't do anything much better than fishing a sabiki rig, I guess, is what you were saying, right?
Damn!
He fishes the 10-hook sabiki.
Yeah,
but
I'm going to go to jail.
Yeah, in case you guys were wondering, yeah.
I'm doing commercial fishing at Surfside.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I would say that that Berkeley gulp, you know, the camo sandworm. I mean, if you wanted to choose an artificial, that's probably caught more fish than anything here.
I love fishing a crocodile. I've had
Yeah.
really good luck with a crocodile. Halibut,
Crocodiles are
yellowfin
good,
croaker. Yeah, I think, Jim, you were saying you want to get
Castmasters.
into surf fishing, right?
Well, I live about 200 yards from the water.
He lives 200 yards from the water.
Is that 100 yards too far? Or?
Well, I was hoping I could just cast from my
Yeah.
Yeah, really. You probably can
Get
from
this
your
new
front
reel here,
porch.
you'll be able to do that, yeah.
Exactly.
I've been out of fishing for a long time.
Well, we'll get you tuned up again for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, this is your man here. He's great. Michael Limon, Emmanuel Navedo in Florida, where my son is now.
Awesome.
By the way, Patrick's having a boy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and Philip doesn't know what he's having.
Okay.
Oh, am I supposed to say that yet? Yeah, I think I am.
Okay.
Philip's having a baby
Wow.
also. Yeah, right?
Man.
It's going to be great.
That's so cool.
In fact, Patrick's due date is July 11th. My mom's birthday is July 10th.
Jeez.
So close, you know, and then Philip is like a month later.
Wow.
So it's going to be a lot of fun.
You're going to
Yeah.
be busy this summer.
Totally excited about it, man. It's great stuff. Manny Perez. Tranx is dated, and you can't adjust the cast control on the fly. You have to open the Tranx to adjust cast control.
Yeah, that's true. You know, I would say that's something that can be an issue. I think that most guys, once they set it once for the day, they usually have the same on the same rod, and they're going to have the same jig. You know, typically you're not changing too many different kinds of jigs, and so that adjustment may not be as critical. I think once you kind of figure out how to do it, it's not too bad. But you're right. There may be times where maybe when you started the morning there was no wind, and then maybe there was a bunch of wind as you were going, so you might change it based on that. Especially with throwing lighter weight stuff, especially poppers or stick baits or jerk baits, things like that. You might find that you need to adjust a few more times than that. But yeah, you're right. You know, that's the one thing about the Lexa is that you can change it by just turning the dial. You can change it every cast if you wanted. But even on the Lexa, I'd venture to say that you probably change it maybe once a day, if that. I think once you kind of have it set and you're comfortable with that setting, pretty much leave it there most of the time. You might mess with it a little bit, but most guys don't change it. Once you figure out what that setting is,
You're good.
most of the time.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Rick Winters says casting crank is stoked. He will never have to learn to fish a conventional now.
Okay.
There you go. Excellent.
Good for him.
And hashtag Tranks Killer Manny Perez. Another excellent. All
like
right. Jay says, great show as always. It's finally here. Sam, what line would you load a Tranks 400 and a Tranks 500 using them on overnights, multi-days? Thanks as always. Thank you, Jay, for the excellent question.
50-pound and 65-pound.
Okay.
That'd be the two, yeah.
That's it. Brett Enter. Hey, Brett, it's good to see you, man. I wish you would have shown up for our surf fishing event. It would have been great to have you. Would that work with a 10-foot jig stick? Heck yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Man.
Right?
In fact, you know what? That's one of the things I wanted to do is to see if the foot, which I think it will fit with those aftermarket clamps.
Yeah.
So if you read the next couple questions here, I'll
Yeah, sure.
go grab it.
How about I'll take a little break while you're off and do a couple commercials. Is that okay with you?
Sounds great.
All right, hey, if anybody out there wants to go to the Bart Hall show, the boat show, March 1st through the 3rd, let me know here in comments. I've got some tickets here for you. Best Income Tax is making tonight's presentation possible. Our friend Tim Marquez, believe it or not, he is the best when it comes to income tax, and he will help you. 310-892-3503. And also Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning, our friend John Lopez. Give John a call. Great guy, and he can help you out. 626-901-4822. The Bart Hall show is the March the 1st through the 3rd. Sam, did I buy you enough time there?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, good.
I think you're pretty good here. You
You seem to work?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it looks like it should work just fine. So that's got that kind of solved.
So explain exactly what it is you're checking.
Because these reels, they don't have a clamp. So some of these jig sticks, you need to have a clamp. Now, the one thing I would say about this one is that the clamp system, this is one from Tiburon. And so they make one that fits the Lexa and the Komodo 400, which is, a regular reel. Now, with the clamp that comes with it, it's actually not a very big clamp. Mm-hmm. So it probably wouldn't be able to fit like on an Alua or a 100J or something like that, or a 540.
Yeah.
Not wide enough. But other jig sticks, it should fit. There is another clamp out there that is made by a company called Duran Clamps. And I think that they also fit these Lexas. And so if that one does fit, which I think, just from memory, it fits the 400, I believe, so it should fit the 5. That one does have a wider clamp, so that'd be the one you would want to use if you were going to put it on a larger diameter jig stick.
All right, very good. The top says, Phil, are you going to be at the PCS show on Saturday? Would like to say hi. More than likely, Saturday's the day. I will definitely be there, and I like to hang around this guy's booth, so look for me around Island Fishing Tqckle. I'll be wandering around. But I don't know. I'm just like that moth to the flame or whatever. I'm hanging around with Sam all the time. Steve Bermudez. Steve, I can't believe you're awake. You're so old. You're normally in bed now. What brand or type of jig would you throw with a 7-to-1 ratio when most jigs were made for 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 gear ratio? Hey, you better slow down, Steve.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Tatty 45, 7Xs, I mean, they work fine with a 7-to-1. You just got to slow down your retrieve a little bit, but no problem fishing those jigs on the newer style reel. And also you got to remember is that even though this is 7-to-1, it doesn't mean it's twice as fast as a jig master. The jig master is twice as tall. So when you go to wind this, every time you turn the handle, it's not going to bring in as much line, which that's kind of how you're measuring how fast your jig is it's not going to bring in twice the amount of line that your jig master did. So I wouldn't get too caught up with it being, thinking it's too fast. It's probably about the same as about a 5-to-1 reel or something like that of a bigger size.
All right, very good. And we will be giving you a closer look at the reel. In fact, I may be Sam's hand model tonight and walk out there and get it really close to the camera. But we want to get through some more questions. Can't thank you all enough for watching right now. 150 people watching right now. Please hit the like button. We deeply appreciate it when you are able to do that. Andrew C. wants to know what gear ratios are offered.
I don't remember off the top of my head here, but I know that they did offer it in, I believe, 3 gear ratios, which was going to be like a 6-to-1, 7-to-1, and 8-to-1. And then they also were going to offer those in left-handed. That's actually the other big news about this reel is that it's offered in left-hand. This one here that I have is left-hand, whereas the Tranks is not offered in left-hand at all in any gear ratio.
Oh, really?
So that's going to make it.
For all the
cool.
Southpaws, they're going to be happy, right?
There's a lot of guys who've asked for that reel in left-hand for a while now. So
the Tranks.
the Tranks,
Yeah.
yeah. And in general, guys ask for reels in left-hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be available in left-hand.
All right, excellent. Michael Limon says Sam and Phil are the best. That perhaps is a cue for you to jump up and do something.
Equally the best. All right.
Oh, we're the same?
Same.
Who's better? He pointed at me.
You sure?
Hey, what's that mean? Poor kid.
I know.
Maybe this is a cue to do something, Sam.
Oh,
Do I-
yeah.
Do I just spell it out, or?
So who was that? What's the name of it? Maybe you can tell about it.
Yeah.
You know more about it than I do.
Yeah, I do know a little bit about it because Doug Tqckle is a dear friend of the Friedman Adventures family. Doug is a great guy, very generous guy, always doing something for people. He helped us at our Christmas party. He's helped me to take clothing that we're sending down to Mexico, put in a lot of hard work. Really a great guy. And Doug said, I got a really nice fishing rod. I think I'm going to go down to Sam and buy a new reel. And I want you guys to present it to Michael Emo. Michael, look what Doug Tqckle said.
Thank you,
Would you like
Doug.
to say something to Doug? Or speak right into here.
Thanks a lot, Doug.
That's it?
That's it?
Thanks a lot.
Maybe he doesn't really want it.
Yeah, you don't want it, huh?
I want it.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Doug. You're the best.
Oh, now he's the best.
Oh, Doug's the best? I thought you said I was the best. Huh? How about this? Doug, I'm going to catch so many big fish, and every time I do, I'm going to think of you because this is so special to me, and I deeply
Pretty cool,
appreciate
man.
your friendship. How's that?
Good.
All right. Well, that's what you're supposed to say. Hey, good stuff. Congratulations. And Doug, thank you very, very, very much. That is cool, isn't it?
It is super cool.
I mean, it's kind of like that whole thing yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, fishing the beach. Man, it was just kid power.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
it was so
yeah.
much fun seeing
That's
the kids
awesome.
have a good time. All right, let's go back to more questions as we're doing our best to catch up here, but it's a difficult task here tonight. Angel Garcia, what are some good jigs you like for rock fishing? Plastics, vertical jigs, flat falls, slow pitch. Great question, Angel.
Yeah, all that stuff really, you know, I mean, a lot of it really depends on how deep you're fishing. So the deeper you go, you know, the harder it is to fish something that's lightweight. But we'll start off with the lightweight stuff. You know, locally, I like fishing even like those Colt Snipers or those Zakana jigs in that 100, 120 gram if I can get away with it. That's where some of these reels come into play. I start fishing these reels or maybe even a smaller reel that has lighter weight braid. And the reason I'm doing that is that the braid will cut through the water, allowing you to stay vertical for a longer time so you could get down there with less weight.
Yeah.
So that 120 gram jig can get down there. When you're fishing, I'd say up to like 250 feet, maybe 300 feet at the most. Once you get past that and you're drifting, you know, with the rockfish, a lot of times you're drifting, you need more weight, so you're going to need a bigger reel. So you start getting into some of those knife jigs, 170, 200 grams, 250 grams if it's really deep. And same thing, I would still use a smaller reel. I actually like using like a smaller conventional reel, maybe like a Torre 16 or a Saltwater 35, that kind of size of reel, filled with 50-pound braid, or even 40-pound braid would work just fine too, and you can get down there. So a lot of it is just cutting through the water, getting down. Also too, up north, when they start catching those lingcod, using those big giant plastics.
Yeah.
You know, different companies make those like a paddle tail. So like, same like a Worm King or a Big Hammer, like they make them small, but they make them gigantic. And they make the lead heads to go with them too, like a 10-ounce, 12-ounce lead head. Those are a lot of fun. Sometimes you get some really big reds, big chuckleheads that way, down deep if you're using a larger bait like that. So it really depends on how deep you're going, but you can vary it up. I know those hookup baits work really well
Yeah.
in that kind of shallow to about maybe 150, 200 feet. Past that, you know, they're just not heavy enough. I think the heaviest that they make them is like a 6-ounce. You can get down pretty good with that one too, but it definitely is going to reach its limit, especially if you're drifting real fast. So, those are
Excellent.
some recommendations.
Excellent. Speaking of Worm King, fish. Do you know
yeah.
Fish?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you know, he had a little problem with his heart here recently. He's in the
he did?
hospital. He's good, doing great.
Okay.
He's rested, doing good. But he sent me a photo. He didn't have all the details. Frickin' deck of this boat was littered with nice big sea bass caught on the Worm King lures, Channel Islands.
Awesome.
There's a little teaser for you for the morning briefing tomorrow morning. I'll
cool.
gather more information, but there you have it. I mean, friggin', it was impressive.
Yeah.
I forgot to show you that to you
Yeah,
before
yeah,
the
yeah.
show started, but really, really impressive. So perfect, right on cue. You're recommending that kind
Yeah,
of bait, and it seemed to work really, really well on that particular trip. Tim Marquez. Not only does Tim have a best income tax, he has the best damn bacon jerky you'll ever have in your life. You
Really?
yeah, Dan, in fact, when I mentioned Tim, like, so he goes, oh, is he bringing some of that bacon jerky tonight? Yeah. And I was thinking, I didn't jump right on it, but I was thinking, yeah, that would be cool if he did, actually. You got to try that stuff. Anyway, Tim says hi. Daryl
He did
Folger.
bring me some one time.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I think it's
and
jalapeno
very-
bacon.
There's a couple different ones.
Yes.
That stuff is really, really good. Now that you mention it. Yeah, he did drop it off.
It's
one
the
time.
best, most tender
Yep.
beef jerky I've ever
Yep.
had in my life. It was really good. Daryl Folger from the Rooster Crow crew, the guys that do the Rooster Crow, in honor of the morning briefing every morning. And their wives are thinking about having them committed, actually. They do it so much. He was there yesterday, fishing the surf with us and having a really good time. Hello, Sam. Little Michael and Phil, loving the show. Hey, it's great to have you here, Daryl. And it was great to see you yesterday. All right, Patrick and Sarah Harnjack up there in Montana. Congratulations on your soon-to-be grandson. Thank you so very much. So many great fishing memories to be had. Yeah, I got real nostalgic and started digging up old photos. I don't know if you saw, but on Facebook I put like Patrick when he was 3 in the bow of the Southern Cal with sand bass. And
That's awesome.
yeah, just kind of doing those memories, you know, how cool that is. What great memories those were. And then some of the trips I did with this guy, Jim Stadler, there's no way. Hopefully the statute of limitations has run out on all of that stuff that went on then. Mark Hepson, and I'm not even going to get into it, Stadler. All right, Steve, your video feed keeps going blurry. Try backing the camera up a little bit. Try getting some better internet, Steve.
That's probably us. Our internet's been kind of low.
Oh, it has?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, there you are. It's your fault. Either way, it's your fault.
Yeah, he's messing up the internet again, Steve.
Oh, yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
That's right. Every time I get near internet, it goes down the tubes. We'll work on that, Steve. Leonard Rivera, good evening, fellas. New to the show and loving it. Leonard, you're the life's blood of Friedman Adventures. Somebody new to the show and taking the time to make a comment. Deeply appreciated. Jeremy, it's always good to see Jeremy. I saw him. He was he's a veteran. Actually, he's still active duty, and we gave him some of the raffle tickets that you were so kind to buy and give out to active duty. So, Jeremy, good to see you here. Matthew Tamayo. Hey, Matthew, good to see you. Good evening, gents. Can we get a handle knob estimated comparison, Lexa 500 versus the Trax 500? Very astute question, Matthew.
So the biggest difference is going to be that this is a single paddle or single handle here, where this is a counterbalanced handle. As far as the distance from the center there, they're actually almost identical, really. So I would say that part of it was just kind of how you measure, I guess, your cranking power, how big a handle it is. They're the same. The knob is different. I actually do prefer the Shimano knob, this kind of egg knob over the round knob, but that might be something you might be able to find an aftermarket type knob for this guy here. But this one isn't too bad. But as far as the distance, you know, as far as how long it is, meaning how much cranking power you have, they're the same. The largest, most noticeable difference here, that this one's counterbalanced. So that's going to be the deal there.
All right, and the price comparison on those two reels again? I forgot.
So $450, $550.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Michael Limon is just rubbing it in right now. He said he's tested the chicken wings and they're absolutely
All of them?
delicious.
How many different kinds are there?
They're like 4.
Four different kinds. Yeah, there were 4 different
There
kinds.
were.
There's like
How many
3
are there
chicken
now?
wings left
Yeah.
now, right? Man. And Bob Giver was concerned about how many people were going to be here because he wanted to make sure he had enough.
Yeah.
All you got to do is no Michaels there, man.
Yeah.
It's all going down the tube fast. All right, very good. Doug Tilk,
Oh,
who
look at
we
the
were
guy.
just talking about. Doug, who so generously gave Michael a rod and reel tonight. What time is the president of Daiwa showing up? And does he like chicken wings?
He just came in.
Yeah, he
saw
stuck
no
his head
wings.
in. Yeah.
He was out of here.
Yeah, Michael ate all the wings.
Yeah.
And he actually, not a big fan of Sam and I. He just wanted the wings.
Yeah.
So he was gone. So he was here, Doug. He didn't stick around. Albert Ponce, who's a fantastic human being. Good evening, Phil, Sam, and the fine Friedman Adventures family. Good to see you guys. Albert, it was great to see you pulling on that Forky. Albert yesterday, was on board with Blackfin Sportfishing out of Punta Banda, located right near Ensenada. And he sent me some video, and I put it up on the morning briefing, looking off the bow as they're running on a big old nice bird school of yellows,
yeah, saw
up,
that.
crashing. Yeah, wasn't that bitchin'?
Yeah, yeah.
And then he got a nice fish. So, Albert, thanks for that great content, and I'm so happy you were able to make that happen. Mackie, Sam, I want to start tying my own shrimp flies for rock fishing. What do I need to start making just plain white ones? Oh, I can answer that. Sabiki rig, right?
Sabiki rig,
That's what I'm
yeah.
going to do.
Tear that apart and retie it. I mean, as far as those shrimp flies, I would say the proper ones, the old school ones, where you would have like the pipe cleaner and then the hackle on top of that. I mean, that's a little bit more involved, but we really don't sell any of that fly tying stuff. I think you would want to go to like maybe Bob Marriott's in Orange.
Uh-huh.
They have a whole wall full of fly tying stuff there. The hooks, they may not have the right kind of hooks, but they probably will actually. That we can probably help you out with that as far as that. But I would probably head down to that place there. That's what they sell. They sell all the different kinds of fly tying vices and then all the different kinds of materials to do that with.
Yeah, I haven't been in there for a while, like maybe a year or so. But I went with Patrick when he was starting to get into fly fishing, and then Nick Curcione.
Oh, okay.
I think
That's
he
right.
was hanging out there a
Okay,
lot,
okay.
right? Does that make
Sure,
sense?
yeah. I mean, that would, yeah.
Yeah.
Fly fishing guy.
All right, let's see. We've got Tracy's Lounge. I have Shimano Tranx 500 reels. Why would I want to add the Lexa 500? Very astute question.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think if you already have the Tranx and you like it, I really don't see a big reason to buy it except for that you don't have it. That'd really be it. I mean, this is really going to be more, I think, for the Daiwa fans. It's going to be.
There you go, Sam. I think we're back.
Are we back?
I think. Are we going here now? I see.
Not going for me yet.
Yeah, you're moving on here.
Mo- I
Are
was-
we back, everybody?
I was moving a little bit.
We're having all kinds.
It's working.
Wiggle the
I think
wire.
we're back.
Yeah, 'cause
Maybe.
It's a little crooked, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Let me see
Now
here.
you're in it.
All right. Hey, folks, sorry about that. We're having some internet problems here. In the world of this technology, every once in a while, that screws up.
Let me move it back here a little bit.
Yeah, finally we take Steve's advice. Hey, I think we're on. There you go. I see Michael back there.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that, everybody. I think we're back. And I apologize to you all. 72 watching already. All right. Wiggle that wire again. There's some funny stuff. Funny comments going on here. Hey, we're very sorry about that, everybody. But I think we're back. I guess we're having a little bit of trouble with the internet. I'm going to get back to where I need to be. And I might skip over your questions unless, I might skip over your comment. Oh, I'll just read all the comments, right? What the
Yeah.
heck? Yeah. So where are we here? Man, we have so many questions. All right, I'm back to cut off a lot of, maybe if you had a question or a comment.
Sorry.
Yeah, I apologize to you about that. All right, Isaac says, speedy recovery to fish. Michael Limon, you are the man. Doug Tilk, Christopher Navarro, kudos to Doug. That was really cool. We all like to see a young man get into fishing. Yeah, thank you, Doug. Tyler Tanaka, Turbo T2. Evening, guys. Just tuning in and catching up in the chat. Sheesh, what is this, the Lexa 500 show? What single hook would you recommend for putting on Colt snipers for bluefin tuna?
Well, actually, we used to do a couple of different hooks. I mean, some of those owner gorillas, owner offshores, owner single replacement hooks is kind of real common. Basically, just any kind of single hook. But the last couple of years, what a lot of guys have been doing is putting the treble hook back on, but just a heavier duty one. That owner 10 ST66 by far has been our number one hook that we've been putting on for tuna fishing. And for guys that think it's not strong enough, I know the guys on the Royal Star are the ones that really kind of push me to recommend that hook because that's what they use on that boat. And they have caught lots of fish over 100 pounds, lots of fish even over 150 pounds on that hook, and it's held up just fine.
All right, very good. Yeah, we were having some internet problems here. Patrick and Sarah Harnjack, I don't think you've had too many margaritas tonight. I believe we are having some focus problems and everything else, so we'll watch out. What's going on now?
I think you're way down.
Yeah, but I can't go any higher.
Oh.
For some reason, I got cut off of questions. Did you?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
So, right here, maybe right here, I think.
Okay, with cue ball?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to steal Sam's phone
Yeah.
for a minute. He's going to stick to his Makairas. Yeah, he said. The Tops Tackle Shop Confession. Sam, are you bringing the same gear to PCS versus Bard Hall or anything new? Good question.
So actually, we're probably bringing less. It's a smaller booth, not as big, so we just can't take as much stuff. We're going to try to stuff as much as we can in there. I've been kind of trying to design the booth in a way where we can bring more stuff in, but still have room to walk around. So that's been kind of a struggle, but we're definitely going to have less stuff there than at the other shows. But whatever we have there is going to be a good deal for sure.
All right, very good. And that'll be a great show. There should be a ton of people there, right?
Yeah, it should be pretty busy for sure.
All right, very good. Rocket Dog, Sam, are you still taking pre-orders on the reel?
No, that's already sold out. So I don't want to sell something that I'm not sure if I can get in a short amount of time.
All right, very good. Eric like Huya. Hey, guys, shopping between the Phoenix Black Diamond 808 MH and 809H for my first rod. Want something light enough for bass, but has a backbone for a yellowtail. Pros and cons of both these models. Good question.
So that 808 is going to be a lighter rod, and the other one's a heavier rod. So when we're talking about this stuff like this, is once again, recommendation for what would work. So the 808 is probably going to be the one that covers the most bases, but definitely when you start talking yellowtail, yellowtail could be 10 pounds or it could be 30 pounds. It's definitely going to be light for a 30-pound yellowtail. We'd be fine for a 10-pound yellowtail. So that being said, when we throw a fish in there, as far as will it handle a whatever X fish, you have to kind of really look at maybe how big a fish it can handle. Now, that's not as important as how heavy a line you can fish on it. Whereas the 909 is going to be, I said 809 or 909?
809.
So the 809 is probably something you can probably stretch to, let's say, 30-pound test, maybe 40 on the outside. Whereas the 808 is really going to be something more for 20 or 25, which ideally is actually going to be something you use more of throughout the year. There's going to be instances where you need to fish 40, and that 809 would have been better. But even still, that 809 would be a little bit light for 40. So if you're looking for one rod to catch you the most fish throughout the year, I'd probably go with the 808.
All right, very good. Excellent stuff going on.
Are these the hooks that you were talking about?
No, they're not exactly. Although those would probably work okay too. So Michael was asking about the hooks to put on the Colt Snipers. This is one from Mustad. They have this 5X strong hook. It's a 9430 DS. It's a really, really nice hook. It's kind of hard to see there in the picture. But the one that we were talking about was the ones that were probably right next to this in the owner box here, the 10, yeah. ST66.
Cue Ball is a huge fan. By the way, we had some internet problems. Apologize for that. We're back. We're going to show you more about the Lexa 500, and we are here for the duration, unless Steve Nye screws up everything again with his comments. Cue Ball says, Phil, I talked to Adam. How do I get a hold of you? I'll call 22nd Street Landing and leave my phone number. I'll give you my, I responded to your comment on YouTube, Cue Ball, and left my phone number. I don't know if you missed that, but I'll give you my number right now. 657-227-6459. Okay? Send me a text, and we will make that happen. Adam from the Pacific Queen, I think, or the New Loan. New Loan. So we're going to have him on, and I'm
really
excited about that.
Oh, that guy's an ace, man.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Cue Ball making that happen.
Really,
So
really good.
good stuff. So just send me a text, Cue Ball, and then we can go back and forth. And maybe if you go back on the morning briefing, I think, or I forget where, I answered and sent you my phone number and told you how happy and pleased I was about that. Sorry, just jumped in, says 1212 on fire 4JC. Dragon price, please, on the Lexa 500, I'm guessing.
It shows here on the box 28 pounds, which is a ton. I mean, normally you probably set this reel at about 15 to 18 pounds for most people. And the price was $450.
All right, very good. Excelente. Is the Lexa 500 available for lefties?
Yeah.
Justin wants to know.
That's the big deal about this, is that all those speeds are going to be available in right and left-handed.
Leonard Rivera says, would it work for a finicky fly line bait?
It wouldn't work as good as other products out there, but it would work okay for sure.
All right, Naughty Boy 78 says, the surf fishing video was great. Is the surf fishing always that good? Is Newport Beach by the PCS show any good? No, it's not always that good. Sometimes it's really poor. That was a pretty exceptional day, Naughty Boy. It was really good fishing. It's like, how fishing is, right?
Fishing is still fishing, even in the surf. Yeah.
Some days it's good, some days it's not. I should, however, give some kudos to Bill Varney, because Bill at the Bart Hall show in Del Mar hyped me all up about they're pumping that sand, that's bait going in there.
Yeah,
you need to
makes
fish
sense.
it. And Bill was right.
Yeah.
And I know Michael wanted to say thank you, Bill, too, right?
Are they pumping?
Shout out to Bill.
Are they pumping every day?
Until the 29th. So what's the date? It's 26 today.
26,
Yeah, I know.
Get down there, yeah.
Yeah, get my set line out there
Yeah.
tomorrow morning.
The 20 hook.
Exactly. Calico Chris was there for that surf fishing, and it was great seeing you at that event. Why did the fishing reel break up with the rod? Line of commitment.
That's right.
Did I read that right?
Yeah, I think so. I can't see it from here.
Yeah, line of commitment.
It's a joke, I guess.
It is a joke. It's funny, too. Good.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
be mean to
almost-
Chris.
yeah, almost
He's a
funny.
very nice guy. Maybe I read this wrong. Why did the fishing reel break up with the rod? Line of commitment.
I know. That's right.
Okay. Is that funnier that way I read
what's
it?
the next,
Let me
comment
read
there?
it one more time. Hold on. Why did the fishing reel break up with the rod?
We just lost a couple of viewers there.
Line of commitment. Okay, good one. Halibut Man, naughty boy. The surf fishing is usually great around Surfside and Seal Beach, but Michael Limon makes it look easy. Yes, he does.
That could be it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Brandon Calderon. I'm excited to see what it's made of. See the results later on in action.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. Halibut Man, if you're having trouble surf fishing, stop by Big Fish Bait and Tackle in Seal Beach and get some lugworms. They certainly work really, really well. But so does other stuff, man, I'll tell you. Live free and die free. Evening Sam and Phil. Christopher Navarro. Is there going to be a special tackle shop confessions when the Friedman Adventures swag comes out? Maybe. I think that, yes. As a matter of fact, Chris, yes. I have to rub it in. I've been challenged here that I would never be able to hook up remotely with anybody. I came through on that one.
So you got 2 weeks for that.
I've got more than that. 17 days. That's like 3 weeks.
3
almost.
weeks, okay.
Yeah. Don't you? I saw Chuck today, man. He's on it
yeah.
already. David Alcantar. Looks like I will have to camp out Wednesday night before the PCS show. I need the Lexa 500 and the Tatty book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the sage advice, right? To get that thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Think they'll be gone after that first day.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
There you are.
You know, unless some of the shops kind of hold them back for the rest of the show, maybe, but whatever's available that day to buy is going to be gone in the first couple hours, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Makes sense. Let's see. Sal Garcia. Does the new Lexa have the T-wing feature?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah. You know, we were talking about that. It doesn't seem to be as popular, even in the 400 size. They were telling me that it isn't something that they might do later on, but for right now, they wanted to kind of just get this reel out, so they wanted to bring it out in line with the HD reel. So it's kind of more of a HD 500 than it would be like a T-wing 500.
Excellent. Hit that like button, everybody. Thanks for being here. Dansky says, loving the show. Really appreciate you being here with us. How does the reel feel in your hand compared to the Tranks? Does it feel just as comfortable, or does the added width make it a little awkward?
No, not so much. You know, especially with these reels that you're kind of holding them more from the back, especially when you're casting, you know. I think it's going to feel actually maybe a little bit smaller. It's going to have the appearance or the feel to your hand maybe of it being a tiny bit smaller because it sits a little bit lower on the rod.
All right, very good. Frankie Sanchez, or wait, is
Hernandez.
Tony, right?
No, Tony.
Tony, hey guys, evening to you all. Hey Tony, good evening. A little late to the show. Can you show the Lexa 500 and the Tranks 500 side by side, please?
We'll do that maybe after we get caught up here.
Okay, we're trying to catch up. Tony, can you stay with us, man? We're going to do a lot of that
couple
for you.
minutes here, yeah.
Promise we'll do that for you. Sam wants me to catch up here because he wants a chicken wing so bad. Michael's been screwing with us all the time. Frankie Sanchez, hey guys, what UC rod do you recommend for the Lexa 500? Thank you, Frankie.
So it just depends on how you're going to be fishing it. I know a lot of guys are going to probably be fishing the 9-foot rods, you know. So anything like a GP 900, a GP 90 Mega, maybe like that 900E or the 9E, maybe even the 10-foot. You get into that 10E. That 10E is probably going to be a really popular one too. But you can go 900 Del Mar, something like that. 9-foot heavy action rod for throwing jigs, probably what I would pick.
All right, Christopher Navarro has a question for Michael. Are you throwing jigs yet, Michael? And if so, what kind of rod do you use? What do you like to use? Do you fish iron at all?
Maybe if I'm fishing for yellowtail, yeah. If it's wide open if they're biting off the surface, then I'll throw a surface iron. But yeah,
Okay, and do you know the rod or anything like that you? No, you don't know all those. You're like me, pretty
The-
much, right? There's the guy, right? There. Show your rod. That's the one, right? The
Yeah.
one Doug Till gave you. There you go. That's the one, Chris. All right, Fernando Hernandez, going fishing next weekend with the boys. What setup would you recommend for the Sheephead Derby this weekend? You know they're doing a Sheephead Derby on the Victory.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sponsoring it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He mentioned you. I ran
Yeah.
his little interview he did at somewhere. I forget where, but I ran. Yeah.
Something 8 to 9 foot. Call it like a 20 to 50, and actually one of these Lexa 400s would be perfect with that. Yeah.
All right, John Hobbs is up in Oregon.
Woo.
And
Nice.
he just wanted to say, hello, good people. John, thank you so much for checking in. Really appreciate that. Fernando Hernandez, I plan on going to this show. Hook it up with some tickets.
I
How
know.
many you need, Fernando?
What show?
Oh, yeah, what show? Are you talking about the boat show? If you're talking about the boat show, I got your tickets right here. I'll give them to Sam. If you're talking about the PCS, I don't have any tickets to that. All right. Isaac, Sam, what's your thoughts on flying with the Tranks and Lexa?
Flying with it?
Yeah, yeah. Where do you put it in your passenger? Do you put it in your
put my
luggage,
pocket.
or
I put it
yeah?
in my pocket when I'm flying.
Can you put it in the overhead compartment, or is that against the rules?
I never put them there, so I'm not sure. Yeah.
Fly lining, I'm
But
guessing,
yeah,
right?
I'm guessing fly lining.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, they work fine. For that, like I was mentioning earlier, I think that a reel, a regular conventional reel is what I would recommend. Now, if you're fly lining for like small to moderate sized fish, let's say, we're talking tuna again, but up to maybe a 30, 40 pound fish, I think you'd be okay. But if you're more interested in trying to give yourself the best chance at hooking and also landing a fish, I probably would go with more of a Saltiga 20, Saltis 20 type of reel is what I would choose for fly lining and kind of more of a finesse fly lining. And nowadays with the technology that we have available to us, you can get those small reels in a 2-speed as well in case you hook a big fish. A lot of times we're fishing for a 25 pound fish and you hook a 40 or 50 or 60 pound fish on like 25 pound, and you got that 2-speed is going to make it a lot easier. But if you can 100% predict that you're only going to hook a fish of a certain size, these reels will work okay. But if you have something else like those other more conventional reels, I think those work a little bit better.
Isaac wants to know, Sam, will you have the pre-order reels at the PCS show, or need to come into the store?
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure when we're going to actually get them. So hopefully by the end of the week here, we'll know. I was hoping I was going to know by today, but we still don't know exactly what day we're going to have them.
Michael Limon wants to know what the best lure for surf fishing for halibut is.
Probably going to be a Lucky Craft Flash Minnow 110.
Droopy's Fishing Channel. Sorry, I'm a bit late. Can I see the new Lexa 500? We're going to go into that again here in just a moment. Just trying to catch up on a zillion questions here. So thanks for the question. I promise we're going to do that for you here in just a little bit. Isaac, Michael, what's up with Ethan and Owen? Say hi. Say hi.
hey Owen, hey Ethan.
All right, there you go. Rick Slater. Hey, good stuff, guys. Phil, was that a Corbina or a white sea bass caught? Sam, could you explain the real size numbers? Can you tell me why a Penn 500 or a 505 is so inferior to these reels? Rick, I think you were talking about what he caught in the surf. That was a Corbina, or the Worm King catch in the Channel Islands. If you're talking about that, which I made reference to, Rick, that was all straight white sea bass. But the one he caught in the surf was a Corbina. Sam. Two Corbina.
So, we're going to get into a discussion of what's better, a 65 Camaro or a 2024 Camaro. It's probably a tough one to really say, when you're comparing old tackle to new tackle. What I'm going to say here is that if you give a 500 jig master to someone who's never fished and the yellowtail are biting on the surface and the reel's filled with 30-pound test, I guarantee 100% he's going to catch at least 40 times more fish with one of these reels than with the 500. So just that alone, the ability for it to cast is just way easier. Now, if you can cast a 500 just fine, then it's not going to be a big difference to you personally. The other thing I'm going to say too is that these reels, because of the use of Spectra, will hold as much line as a 500 would. So let's call it, a 30-pound braid. This will hold 300 yards. A Jigmaster 500 is going to hold about 300 yards of 40 pounds. So you're about equal as far as line you're gonna be fishing on there. So you're not going to get any more line capacity. But I will say that this drag probably has at least, I would say, 3 to 4 times the amount of drag capacity that a Jigmaster has. So sometimes talking in those terms isn't really a matter of better or worse. If the 500 is something that is comfortable to you and that's something that you enjoy fishing, then that one's better for you. As far as it being better in general, I mean, that's kind of, we're talking about feelings and what do you feel better is, to you and to your heart. That jig masher might, bring great memories to you. And it does to me too. I have some that I fish once a year for nostalgic reasons. And after catching a fish or two, I remember why I fish a Trinidad 20. Mm-hmm. They're way smoother. They have way more torque. They do cast easier, and they're just smoother operation overall. So that's the reason I like them, is that the technology is just better on them.
Right. And old guys kind of get like that part of the human condition. When I was a young man, those jig masters worked as good as this crap you're throwing nowadays, and they don't.
They don't.
They don't.
Just don't. A 65 Chevy probably went 0 to 60 in about 18 seconds. A modern one, it goes in about 3.5 seconds. So if you're trying to get 0 to 60 the fastest, the modern one's going to get there faster. But there is something about an old Camaro with the nice,
the nostalgia of it.
With nice cam. It's going to have that nice burble. There's not much like it, but that's two different conversations, So I think it's for that reason I hate to really compare the two, because I still fish a jig master too, but it's not because I think it's better. I think it's nostalgic, and it is kind of fun just to have that experience. The new gear just is way better.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Joel says, good evening. What is the price of the Lexa 500? $495?
$449. So
$449.
$450, yeah.
$449. AKA the Sack, who's Isaac, says, congratulations, Michael. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you, Isaac.
There you go.
Yeah, tell them congratulations, Sam.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody, congratulations, right? Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah. All right, we said it. We're not sure. We're not sure why we're congratulating him, but we said it. Jose Guevara, would the Lexa 500 be a good 50-pound line class for yo-yo fishing and calling net?
No, it wouldn't be good. I mean, it would be okay in a pinch, but I would probably use more of a Torre 20, Trinidad 20, something like that. If you're looking for a reel that has a level wind, actually Daiwa does make a larger level wind. I'm trying to see if I have one over there, but I don't see it.
I'm throwing pens at guys that are playing their phones during our show.
But yeah, I would probably use something a little bit bigger for that. The reason being is that the torque on these reels isn't quite as good as something that's a little bit bigger that has maybe a little bit longer handle. So that's probably what I would use for that kind of fishing, is something like that. So can it be used? Yeah. Is it better than something else? No, it's not. There's other things that are better.
All right. Hey, I miss Live Free, Die Free, who wants a couple of tickets for the show. So I've written his name down.
All right.
I'm going to leave 2 tickets for you with Sam. You can come by and pick those up for sure. Cue ball. Now put that kid on a boat, Phil. So cool. Right on, Doug. You rock. His grandpa takes him on all kinds of great trips. So, I don't have to put him on a boat because his dad or his grandpa takes really good care of him. But we'll do more of that with him because he's a great kid. Rocket Dog, congratulations, Michael.
Congratulations.
What did we congratulate him? On the rod?
The rod and
reel.
reel.
Yeah. Okay. Congratulations, Rocket. Let's see the rig, Mike.
Yeah, put it together.
What rig?
Rod and reel.
Oh yeah. There you go. All right,
What do
I'm
you
listening.
think?
When I heard Mike, I totally zoned out and go, who the hell is
Who's
Mike? Yeah, I did. All right, he's going to show it to you while we keep going on the questions so we can catch up. Congrats. Everybody's saying, I'm the one who's out of it, not these people. Congrats, Michael. Show us your new setup. What reel is it? What size? What are you going to run on it? What's the plan with the new setup? We'll get to that answer in a moment. Speedy recovery to fish. Michael Limon. Oh, I think I'm...
And now you're caught up.
Am I? Yeah, right?
Nope, almost.
I thought I was. Oh, okay. I got a little bit further. You are the man, Doug Tilk. He certainly is Michael Limon. Christopher Navarro. Kudos to Doug. That was really cool. We all like seeing a young man get into fishing. Why do I feel like I read that already? Oh, I read it because then you made me go backwards. Yeah. All right. Tyler Tanaka. Evening, guys. Just tuning in, catching up on the chat. He asked that, right? What do you recommend for putting on a Colt Sniper for bluefin tuna?
Yeah.
All right. I must be caught up now, right? Michael, do you want to say something?
Can you scroll back up?
Yeah.
Over there? Is that as far as you can go?
That's it. Yeah.
then yeah, you still need to go here for a little
Okay,
bit
a
more.
little bit more. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I would like to give out a shout out to Mitchell and Doug. Doug. He's a real great man that I met through Phil, and he brought me and my brother ice cream at the Bar Horse Show.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
In Long Beach.
Yeah,
And
in Long Beach.
what did he bring to the surf fishing event?
And then he brought chocolate donuts
Phew.
and donuts for the surf fishing. And then I'd like to give out a shout out to Mitchell because every time we go out, he tries his hardest. Last time he caught no fish, but he was still happy for everybody.
Yeah, he's always cheering everybody on.
Some people get mad. Oh, I didn't catch no fish. All this, all that. But Mitchell was just a great guy, hardworking man. So I'm glad that I met him.
You're going to make me cry. I love Mitchell.
He loves his dog.
Good job.
He goes to work every day.
Yeah,
pays his bills.
He doesn't kick his dog ever.
Oh yeah, such
Oh.
a great guy.
Good job. That was excellent.
Really gotta stop that.
Whoa,
Oh,
yeah, the size of the reel.
Here's the size of the reel,
Yes.
and it's a Bait Runner 400,
4,000.
4000 OC Shimano.
Ooh, look at this. Shimano.
Shimano.
This is a Seeker 270. This is an awesome rod right here, man. A lot of people want this rod.
Nostalgic,
Yeah,
right?
Made in Long Beach, right? This is a pretty cool rod.
There you are, Michael.
Woo-wee.
Doug, thank you again. You are the man. Okay, and then the question about the camera, we already did that. Tim Marquez, this is really important. Dan, quit playing on your phone for one moment. Tim Marquez says, I'm going to have to get some more of your bacon jerky down there very, very soon. So I'm in for that too. Michael Limon, I have the sexy smelt bait for yellowtail, but the barracuda on the Voyager at the rock pile.
Yep.
We'll keep on biting it.
Yeah. That's the thing that you talking about the Kitech, or
I don't really know what.
was it a swim bait?
Yeah, it was a swim bait.
Okay.
Hookup bait.
A hookup bait. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with those hookup baits. Sometimes you're fishing down there by the Coronados or anywhere down there, any kind of barracuda around, man, they eat them on the way down. So you got to be careful. If you can get down below them and get into the yellowtail, you got a pretty good shot. But sometimes they just eat them up.
I'm impressed this guy knows a rock pile and all the spots down there at the Coronado Islands and
Yeah.
stuff. That's pretty cool. Tim says, cool interview with Mikey. He is cool. Met him on the water a while back. Yeah, Tim, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Did you get to watch any of that? The SD Fish and Sips? He was great.
Yeah.
Very positive.
Oh yeah, that Mikey. I thought you were talking about this Michael.
Yeah, no. Yeah, see?
Yeah, you got
Call
me
him
there.
Michael, but he's not talking about
No,
this.
yeah.
Did you see any of that?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, he
yeah,
is
that was
cool.
good, right?
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool guy. Super good. All right, Ken Trenholm. Hello, Friedman Adventures family. Great show, Phil and Sam. Thank you so much. Doug El Sueño, Doug Rubin. See you guys at the PCS show. You got it. Buffering hard. Frozen.
And these are the guys about when we went off.
Yeah, all right. Sam chewed through the cord. I like cue ball, man. Good one, cue ball. Looks like Phil is going to have to start paying the internet bill. Hey, this is Sam, not me, man. My internet went down years ago. Anthony Amalfitano, I just signed on, got off work late. I broke the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Anthony's fault. Is this all internet nonsense?
so, yeah.
Okay. Because we can kind of go through that, right? Hang in there, fellas. Shimano signed off. I think Steve Puckett hacked into your internet. Let's see. We're trying to catch up here, folks. And there's no need to read that the internet was down. We kind of figured that one out. But there's a lot of funny comments here, I
Yeah,
must
I know.
admit. There's some hilarious stuff here. We love you guys. Is that where we are now? Phil, you're back. Yep, Michael is eating wings. We're back on track.
Yeah.
All right. Michael's back eating wings. That's a sure sign the world is in a good
I
place.
think this is where we started. No? Where are you at over there?
Live free, die free. Or no, wait. Let's see. Yeah, live free, die free. Senor Deal, internet on Biden mode. That's pretty much where I am.
I think that's where we're at. So now you gotta scroll past all those internet comments.
Oh, I got to go down here?
Well, just don't. Go probably right there. You're back.
Yeah.
Looks good. 25%.
Okay, and then we can start in there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Sam. You're back on, Phil. Keep the show going. Halibut Man, you, Michael, eating wings. We're back on track. Yeah, man, that's great stuff. Everybody's talking about Michael eating wings. Hello, Phil and Sam. I'm looking for a 40-pound fly line rod, preferably a CalStar. We already got that question in there. Congrats, Michael. So I need to get down here further.
So let me ask you this. You said you were working on the shirts, right?
Yeah.
Did you have an idea what you were going to do for that?
Well, I mean, I was just going to do the Friedman Adventure logo to start. However,
multiple colors, sizes?
no. I'm going to go basic here. The Friedman Adventures budget is still pretty limited.
With the white writing or
something like that.
Okay.
But, I mean, you know, what I'd love to do a Tackle Shop Confession shirt.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be awesome. It would sell like crazy.
So what I did here is we went ahead and started something for you here. Yeah. So this is the first one. You can sign it.
Whoa! Sam!
Help you out here.
Look at that, everybody. Oh, my God, a Friedman Adventure. I told you I was going to have the swag ready.
You know, I didn't want to let, you know, I'm pretty sure he's not going to have anything else ready.
Darn, that looks good.
I went ahead and got this one done. And
what a friend.
You guys know I'm supporting this guy here.
You know, I would have hyped up the Lexa. I would have put the Lexa 500 on backtrack and talked about the Friedman Adventure swag being introduced tonight.
It was ready to go.
That's awesome, man. That looks good.
Actually, no, I can't take full credit for it. It was Doug. Doug dropped it off.
Doug is great. Doug again?
Yes.
Friggin' Doug, man. I love it. Well, you got to we definitely have to do a Tackle Shop Confessions one for sure. That would be awesome. Working harder than an ugly stripper.
Yes.
Yes, I like it. You're not supposed to laugh at that. What are you laughing about? You know, you're contributing to the delinquency of a minor, Stadler. What are you doing?
Back to his
Gonna
old
get
tricks.
us kicked off. Yeah. Here we go. I told you we're gonna get kicked off YouTube.
He hasn't been on a sport boat in 20 years. He's going to get kicked out before he gets on.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Yeah, I can't talk about those days. All right, question for Michael. Are you throwing? Oh no, we got all this. I got to keep going here.
Rocket dog, treble hook number. So I think we'll get back on here if you want.
Yeah, and then I can figure it out.
So he was asking the treble hook number again. So that's a 1-0 treble hook from Owner.
Okay.
It
Sam's
is
going to
the
run off while I try to catch up
ST66.
with all these questions. Hey, I see Brian Wynn in here actually.
Okay. Oh
Yes.
yeah, Brian. Yeah, I got an announcement there too. But this is the this is the hook right here. It's a Owner Stingle treble ST66
Okay.
and a
We'll
size
talk about
1-0. That's
That'd be good.
by far the most popular hook for that application.
All right, excellent. Where are we?
Brian here. Yeah. Maybe you can just go there. Huh?
You want to go get to Brian
Yeah.
first of all? Looking forward to the PCS and hanging out at the Island Fishing Tqckle booth to talk fishing, rigging, jigging, popping, baiting, and whatever else comes our way. See you fellas there. Is he's going to be at your booth?
So
that's great.
He just got booked for doing the seminars, some of the seminars at the PCS show, and I think it's going to be similar to what he was doing at the Long Beach show.
Yeah.
Which were great. I mean, he had a great turnout. Guys were really interested in finding out, you know, some of his tricks that he's got going on for the jigging stuff. But beyond that, I mean, he, you know, as we all know, you know, Brian's been involved in fishing for many years now, so he's got a lot of information.
Yes.
And he keeps up with the new stuff. So he's been doing it for a while, but he's also kind of at the forefront of what's going on and what's coming. So we're lucky enough to, you know, he offered it, you know, out of his goodwill. I mean, he's just such a nice guy. He said, you know what, I just kind of wanted to go to a good tackle shop booth. And, you know, up in LA, we're kind of his spot, you know. And so he volunteered to come and hang out at our booth.
That's great.
And help people out, you know. And he's such a great resource. I'm so lucky to have him offer that. So for you guys that want to talk to him and pick his brain about, you know, fishing, you know, techniques and technology, he's definitely going to be the guy. And he's going to be at our booth at the show, from what I understand, pretty much every day, as long as he's not doing a seminar. So, man, Brian, thanks a lot, and come down and talk to him.
Excellent. Brian, fantastic. Brian's done so many podcasts with us, and they're all great.
All good.
All
Yeah.
gold.
Yep.
So that'll be fantastic. Camargo says, are Lexa 500s bad for YouTube? Maybe. Maybe that's it. Did you already go over the braid specs as far as test to line capacity?
Yeah. But you know what? While we're going here, I think that's been the most common question, is comparing the two.
Yeah, go ahead.
For the sizes here, guys. So I don't know if this is too close or not, but
I think you're good, Sam.
you know, like I was mentioning earlier, the size, yeah, this one is definitely a little smaller. It's also kind of a little more squat, I would say, depending on a way to describe it. It's going to sit a little bit lower on the rod. Overall width, if you look at the kind of top view here, to me they're almost identical. We were comparing the handles, and as far as the handle distance from the center to where the post is going to be, almost identical. Bob Gifford actually brought this up here, and I'd have to kind of see if it fits. But the Lexa T-wing handle seems to be a little bit longer in its stock position. But this handle actually has another position that you can place it at. So if this handle will work on here, then you're going to have possibly from Daiwa another option handle that's a little bit longer for you guys that are looking for a longer handle. As far as line capacity, you're going to be about equal. I think drag capacity is going to be about the same, but line capacity is definitely equal. We were checking out the clamping capability, and Tiburon already makes one that fits the 400, which is going to fit this guy just fine. I think the one from Duran is going to have a little bit larger clamp for you guys that want to put it on a larger rod. So
That looked good, by the way.
I think that's pretty much sums it up. The other difference also too we went over is the cast control. So whereas the Shimano has the cast control that's internal, you get into here and it's a variable brake system, and it works really very good. But you do have to get into the reel. I don't think it's a big deal. I know some people feel like it's maybe a little cumbersome, but I think it's fine. Whereas the Daiwa just has a dial on the side here. So that's how you're going to adjust that. So that's actually pretty handy. It's pretty nice. There you go.
All right, very good. Hey, I think I'm okay over here now, Sam.
You think you're okay?
You can have your little phone back.
That's a pretty bold
Love
statement.
your shirt, by the way.
Isn't this a nice shirt?
Yes, it's very nice. I wish I had one.
You could have this one when you're done.
No, I want you to sport it, man. People respect you more than they respect me, so it'll be a better thing for my business. Dino says, hey, yes, Tony, I second the size comparison specs. All right, Dansky, Sam, I'll bring you, you're getting bribed now. I'll bring you some chicken wings. It's going to take more than that, I can tell you that, Dansky. To the PCS show, if you can lose one of those reels until Saturday when I stop by.
Yeah, it would be nice, man.
Okay, and it blurred out. And question for Michael, are you throwing, we already got that. Hello, Phil and Sam, good to see you today. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. Thank you, Edmund. Edmund Jones, the first. Had a great time. Steve Bermudez, can we see a close-up of the line guide, and can you fit your thumb and forefinger to have access to pull out the line overruns? Because Steve gets a million of those.
So the line guides, that's one thing I didn't compare. They're pretty comparable. I guess the Lexa is a little bit wider or a little bit taller than the Tranx one, but I think it's pretty much the same. And yeah, your access to the top is going to be definitely a lot of access. So picking out a backlash, which you shouldn't get too many of them, but picking out a backlash shouldn't be too hard. It's got a lot of access.
All right, good stuff. And Michael Limon was talking about a pond that he fished over the weekend. Great stuff. We'll talk about that in a minute. Victor Blackfin, do you know Victor?
I don't know him, but
so great guy.
Yeah,
super good guy. Ensenada, Baja California Norte. He's down there. Punta Banda has a great operation. I have fished there and had the time of my life, especially the part where we almost went into the La Bufadora.
Oh, yeah.
That was great. That was great. Anyway, my friend Alberto Ponce was out with Victor yesterday, and that was the video of them running on. So, Victor, man, we really appreciate you joining us from Ensenada. I can't wait to get down there and fish with you again. Chris Navarro says 65 Camaro that came out in 67, Sam.
Maybe I was thinking about a Mustang, maybe. Yeah.
Rocket Dog.
Mustang, yeah.
Never knew Sam was such a car guy. Well, are you a car guy, by the way?
That I'm not much of a car guy. I do love all the cars. I mean, I don't think anybody does, you know? I mean, it'd be a dream of mine to have a 65 Camaro, wouldn't it?
Really? Yeah, really. Since they never made them during that year, yeah. That'd be valuable as hell. Yeah. We're losing you again, but I think we're back. So I want free rods. How do I become a Friedman Adventures kid?
Yes.
Yeah, really? You're already one, Mitchell. What are you talking about? How many bearings does Alexa 500 have? Sounds like a joke, doesn't it?
It says right here it's 7 bearings, 6 ball bearing, 1 roller bearing.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Michael. You're such a nice, respectful young man. Fish on. Told my wife a joke. It's a religious joke. Should I tell it? Or maybe I'm not going to piss anybody off, am I?
Probably.
So this guy goes to his rabbi and he says, "You're never going to believe this. My kid converted to Christianity." I said, "Oh my God, that's awful," you know. And so he said, "Talk to your rabbi." So he went to the rabbi. Did I say the guy went to the rabbi? Yeah. Oh, so the rabbi says, "Here's what we need to do."
How did he get there? 65 Chevy?
I don't even know why I'm telling this joke. Anyway, the rabbi says, "We need to pray to God." And he says, "God, our sons have..." Yeah, the rabbi said, "Same thing happened to me." He says, "Our sons have converted to Christianity." And God answered and said, "Hey, same thing happened to me."
You lost
Jesus.
me. You lost me at the
Jesus,
third.
the Christian.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, the Father.
You lost me at the third rabbi.
Forget it. I don't know why. Yeah, really. I screwed that one up totally. All right, how many... Oh, we got that. Thanks, Michael. You're such a respectful young man. See? That's Mitchell.
You just said that.
I did?
Literally. That was the last thing you
Really?
said. Yeah.
I'm totally losing it.
Yeah.
This hernia thing has got me all screwed up, man. I'm telling you. I need a chicken wing, I think.
That would help.
All right, cue ball. Makes my heart happy to see kids fall in love with fishing. Good stuff, man. Yeah, we're all about that, cue ball.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like this. Keep the nice words coming. We'll try to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I'll sometimes say them twice.
Yeah, so many times. Yeah.
I'll just keep them coming over and over and over again. Carlos Sanchez, what's up, guys? Hey, Carlos, do you know where a good place to sell my used left-handed Lexa?
Offer up,
400?
I would think. Yeah.
Huh?
Offer up, I would think. Yeah.
David Alcantar, I heard if you buy a reel at PCS from any vendor that is over $50, Berkeley will fill it. Any vendor that is over 50, see, I'm repeating it again, with 500 yards of Spectra for free as long as you present the receipt showing you bought it at PCS.
So that's
Know anything about that?
kind of a big deal. I'm not really sure if Berkeley is officially having that out as far as an announcement.
Go ahead, commit them to it.
But I'm not committing anybody anything.
I
But
know.
I did hear that they are going to do a line deal. So normally, a Rio brand, they'll have a line brand made by the same or owned by the same company.
Well, thank you.
So like if you buy a reel,
that's
Shimano.
nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
So if you buy a Shimano reel, you'll get Power Pro for free because they're owned by the same company.
Yeah.
Something like that. And that's pretty common. Maybe like you would get J-Braid if you bought a Daiwa. And that's common. Daiwa will do that as promotion to sell their reels. And that every year you kind of see that from somebody doing that. Well, this year, Berkeley, their approach really is to promote their braid brands. So they they have the Berkeley X9, Berkeley X5, and also the Berkeley what's the other one there? The Pro Spec. And so depending on the size lines, they have different kinds of brands under that same family. So you would think that Berkeley, because they are owned by the same company that owns Penn, you would think if you bought a Penn reel, you'd get free line on the Penn reel
Yeah,
because
right.
it's the same owner.
Makes sense.
That I would expect 100%, and I would think that would be an awesome promotion. Well, what they're doing this year is they're going to offer it to be able to fill any reel of any brand that you buy at the show. So you buy a Daiwa, Shimano, Okuma, they're still filling that, even though it's a competitor brand. So
They're filling it at the show?
at the show.
Okay.
So they're going to have 4 line winders there.
Oh, wow.
Going, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be going all day long because they're going to have a pile of reels for sure.
Yeah.
So what that does is now any reel you buy at the show is going to have the potential for that. Now, as far as the price of the reel and what's going to qualify for that, I'm not really sure. And I don't think they're going to fill every reel. So like if you bring in a giant electric reel, they're probably not going to fill that. You go, oh, give me some 10-pound tests. I get 10,000 yards of line,
Yeah, really, and take it home and use it for the rest.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. There's going to be some limitations. The price of the reel, I would imagine. If they said $50, I would be very surprised. I would think they would want it to be something where people are spending some good money because the price of the reel is going to cost less than the price of the line that they're giving away. So that wouldn't make sense to me, but at this rate, this promotion already sounds crazy to me that they're doing it.
Crazy good.
Crazy good, yeah, so that's gonna be an awesome promotion. So any of these reels you buy, I guess including the Lexa 500, you'd be able to take it down there and get some free line on top of the fact that you're getting this cool reel. So that is a huge deal. It's not being put on by us, so that's going to be apparently available through any dealer, any participating dealer. So I think also too that dealer is supposed to be part of their dealer network. And so I think that has another caveat too. So depending on who you buy it from, they may or may not honor that depending on who you're buying it from. So So yeah, there is some limitations. I don't think any vendor, and I'm not sure about the $50 thing, but I will say that I would think a reel of this price would. They're still kind of working out some of those details. Obviously, nothing that is said now, or that you may have heard from somebody else somewhere else, is going to be something you're going to be able to hold them to. But from what I have understood, it's going to be pretty much a free for all. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty crazy.
All right, Rocket Dog says, nice stick, Michael. He loves your rod there, Michael. DJB. Phil, really enjoyed your YouTube with Mikey from SD Fish and Sips. I did too, man. He was such a great guest. Really enjoyed that. Looking forward to working more with him in the very near future. Nice surprise, Sam, says Rocket Dog. I'm very impressed with that. Thank you, Sam. Labworks over in Australia watching the show.
Yeah.
Says, nice job, Sam. Man, I think we're just going to have to do these fun reveals from now. I got to come in with a Tackle Shop Confessions shirt someday and then see you just melt. I'm like, oh, wow, that is so great. What? He needs to write something down. He needs a pen. Sorry for the interruption, everybody. Certainly, Michael. There you go. All right. Let's get back to this nonsense. Rocket Dog says, Doug is the man, and he certainly is. Yeah. Jaime Fernandez Jr., good evening, gents. Just joining the show. Hey, Jaime, you missed the internet crashing and everything. You came in right at the right time. Labworks over there in Australia. The Lexa 300 handle fits all models. All the other option is the Saltus F15H.
Yeah, so there may be other options in the lineup there that are going to fit it. And maybe even aftermarket, there might be some other ones too.
He says the Saltus handle fits the Lexa. Mm-hmm. All right, Tyler Tanaka, Turbo T2. For your information, Duran's large super clamp fits the Lexa 500. Saw a post today confirming. Yeah. Tyler's always up on all this stuff. Good job, man. Steve Bermudez, is the Lexa 500 considered a freshwater or a saltwater reel?
Saltwater.
Yeah, what kind of a question is that, Steve?
It's a very good question.
Seriously? You've been talking about throwing iron for yellows all night long with that frickin' reel, and he's asking if it's for trout?
Steve, don't listen to this guy. He finally has something to say. He wants to sound like he knows something.
Steve, I'm sorry. Well, I'm listening to you. I'm learning. What do you want? Steve. All right, real-time fishing. Phil, who are your guests at Bass Pro in Rancho Cucamonga on March 24th? I don't need no stinking guests, man. I'm the guy. That's it. No, I think you're talking about, I did a podcast out there, and I had 6 podcasts I did in succession with 6 guests. This time I'm doing a surf fishing seminar, meet and greet. That's going to be, thank you for mentioning that, March 24th, Bass Pro, Rancho Cucamonga, 12 noon. You'll be able to yank on my friend here, Dan Lightfoot's mustache for good luck. Right. I do that all the time.
I'm sure it'll work.
And Michael, look at Michael Lepone, how many fish he catches all the time. So, hey, thank you for asking. It's going to be all me, though, so I know it's a letdown. Chris Navarro, Sam, I am. What 2 jigs would you tell Michael to get for Barracuda? Jigs that he can use with his new setup. I hope you picked the 2 most expensive jigs in the store.
Well, these are kind of expensive.
All right, there you are.
But here's a single hook tatty. Kind of a classic Barracuda jig. And one of the reasons that this is a good Barracuda jig is not necessarily that it gets more bites, but when you get a short Barracuda, you just turn the thing upside down, shake it one time, it comes right off.
Yep.
The other one here is a Taddy Y2. This is kind of a classic right here.
It sure is.
It's not something you see in a lot of tackle shops.
It's been around for a long time.
But this catches everything as well. And this is a nice one too, because sometimes those Barracuda are down deep. You know, they're down 100 feet.
A lot of times.
Sometimes, yeah, or a lot of times. And that'll get you down, but same kind of single hook feature like that. So those are the 2 that I would recommend for.
All right, very good and great questions, everybody. Labworks, talking to Steve. Lexa is ultra heavy freshwater reel, but designed for saltwater.
Great answer.
Set me straight.
Great answer, this guy.
Hey, Steve, I apologize. And Labworks, I stand corrected. P&S, Patrick and Sarah Hornjack. So are we contacting Island Tackle for Friedman Adventures shirts? Or is Phil going to set up his own online? Contact Sam. Give him a call tomorrow.
I have an inventory of one at the moment.
Yeah, he'll sell that one to you, too. That'll probably go for a lot of money now. You've worn it.
A lot of money.
So you got that going on.
How much do you think this will go for?
$2, $7, $3. What are the, Goodwill, what do you get a shirt there for?
50 cents, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Isaac, Sam, will you have any surf fish rods at the PCS show. I think we got Isaac hooked on the surf fishing after this.
You know, we took over there at the last show. We took a few. I don't know if I'm going to take a bunch. Like I said, our space is a little more limited, but I know for sure we're going to take some of those Okuma SP rods, the Rockaway SPs, and then I think we might have some other Daiwa rods and a few other ones. Not a ton, but maybe a dozen or so. So we'll have something for you there.
Julio SAFA. What's up, guys? How many anti-reverse dog those the Lexa 500 have?
I don't know. Let me see if there's a schematic here while you go to the next question.
All right, Camargo. Penn Fathom 400 has a great feel and drag strength. Are you going to be able to listen to this and look at that at the same time? Okay. Just lack of line capacity to compete in some mines. Can we expect Penn to upgrade the spool to a comparable 500 model?
I haven't heard of anything yet, so we'll have to see here. But looks like the 500 is the new gotta have size. So there might be something coming in the future. But I haven't heard of anything.
May I admire your ability to read the schematic and listen to the question and answer it appropriately at the very same time?
I can do two at once. So I can do this,
Yeah.
and I can listen, or I can read that. I had already read the question. Or I can listen to you. So I can block one of them out. I'll give you an idea which one I had to
You give me an idea, or you want me to choose?
Or either one.
You'd probably block the schematic out.
What'd you
I would
say?
think it's pretty boring.
I couldn't
Yeah,
hear
really.
what you were saying. What was that?
All right, you ready? Go ahead.
So this, according to the schematic here, Lexa 500 has one dog on the gear there. So it looks like it's the same as the 400. But I think it's also backed up with an end reverse bearing as well, from what I can see here.
Chris Navarro says, I think we need Friedman Adventures Island Fishing Tqckle Confession Swag. I couldn't agree more.
That's it.
That is a great idea. Doug Rubin El Sueño. How many rods do you have, Phil? I don't have anything anymore. I got a video. I videotape. In my heyday, I'd have Stadler knew. I'd come down there with 12 rods, going fishing on the Conquest. Now I just say, hey, Sam, you got an extra rod?
Yeah.
So there you have it. Tony, Phil, do you have any specials from Daiwa? I don't. Do you have anything? Do you know what they're doing? I don't think they need any because there's so few reels, right?
Let me see if I can look that up real quick.
All right, he's going to look at that.
You're getting down to it.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right, hey, hit that like button, everybody, while you are with us here. Am I supposed to read this? Okay. You want me to read? Can I read what he wrote me?
Of course you can.
Michael just wrote this out. Now, if it gets too emotional, then I'm going to hand it to Sam and let him read it. Can we give a shout out to Calico Chris because he told me that I'm inspiring to his and all the kids because I actually do it.
His kid, because
Oh, Matt, his son. You're inspiring to his son, Matt?
yeah, because I actually do the fishing, not take handoffs.
Oh, okay. So Michael says that Calico Chris, told him that he's very inspiring to his son, Matt, because he actually catches the fish by himself. He doesn't have an adult hook it and hand it to him. Right.
All right.
Like I do when the camera's not on. So very nice, Michael. Excellent. Are you answering the question now? Or yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
What's the Daiwa specials?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So it looks like they're doing the same deals that they were doing at the other shows. You get a few free jigs with some of the reels. I think with the looks like the Lexa HD or T-Wing or a Saltist or Saltiga spinning reel. There's a jig pack, looks like 4 jigs. You get a free rod with the BG reel. You get a free dry bag with if you purchase 2 Kage products, which there's reels and rods. And in fact, we're going to take some of those trout reels and rods for that. So you get a free dry bag. It's a really nice dry bag, actually. They have one of those performance shirts you get if you buy a Tattooed rod or reel. You get, if you buy 2 of the Zakana jigs, which I got to take some, I got to remember to take those. You get a really nice tray, like a storage tray kind of designed for that. And then if you get some fluorocarbon from them, they're giving you a couple jigs. So they got a bunch of buy something, get
Sounds like it. And where do you cash in on these deals?
So, yeah, typically what you'll do is that at the shows, they have it set up where at the Daiwa booth, they have the giveaways there. So you buy something from our booth, you take the receipt to the Daiwa booth,
and then they give you the
it
swag.
to you there.
Yeah.
Now, I know that at the Long Beach show, they ran out of stuff. So on Sunday, they literally had no more giveaways left. So all of this, I imagine, is all as available. So until they run out. And so you guys on Sunday with just what we expect that show to bring as far as just traffic, I would imagine that Daiwa is probably going to be out of some stuff. So, all of these giveaways are based on what they have there at the booth.
All right, excellent. Are we doing anything else with the Lexa 500 in terms of showing at the end of the show, or
No.
we're done with that?
That's it.
We might let Michael walk up there when we sign off and kind of show
Whatever
him
you
one more
want,
time.
Phil.
I'm
Of
trying to
course.
hold on to our audience there. You're
up to you.
sending them down the tubes. What are you doing? All right, LabWorks over there in Australia. Gomexis also has an aftermarket handle kit. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I am familiar with those. One of the things I would kind of just kind of say ahead of time is, even with this reel here, at times I was talking to somebody about it today. They were mentioning it, but I have heard it before. Is that sometimes people will put a longer handle on this because you can put actually a Trinidad like 20 size handle on it. The only problem with it is when you go to cast. If you cast real hard, you can actually make this go around enough that it'll engage the reel. So you go to cast and it engages it and puts it in gear. So you have to kind of be careful of how big of a handle you put on there with that. So as far as just dropping a jig straight up and down, that wouldn't be an issue because you're not casting and it probably would work just fine. But if you're going to use one of these reels to cast, you may want to think about how big a handle you want to put on there because it will come around and engage the reel.
All right, very good. California saltwater fishing. Hey, fellas. Oh, by the way, Christopher Navarro, pre-order Tackle Shop Confessions T-shirts with Sam. Hey, fellas, thank you for all you do. Paul here from California saltwater fishing. Paul, good to see you. Do you think if La Nina comes through this summer will negatively affect the pelagic bite? It's hard to say.
Hard to say. All this stuff to me, I feel like, we like to think we know what's going on, but the fish do what they do.
Yeah.
Traditionally, yeah, La Nina typically spells tougher times for pelagic species, but sometimes better times for nearshore species, because we get better kelp growth and things like that, upwellings and more bait. But the big variable here is that the bluefin tuna, aren't as affected by the cold water like
that's
a
right.
yellowfin would or
That's
or
right.
Dorado
They
or
regulate
things like
their
that.
body temperature. Yeah.
I mean, they catch them all the way up in Northern California where it's 10 degrees cooler all the time. So, I would say that right now I wouldn't think it's going to affect that species. It may affect other species, maybe like a yellowfin or Dorado or something like that, but it might bring another species to our waters too.
Oh, you're reading my mind.
What about
Albacore, before you
softball there.
start talking about nonsense.
Softball there, yeah.
Yes, albacore.
Yeah.
And you pointed out bluefin are able to regulate their body temp, so those hang in there, and then the albacore will be full speed this year
Full
because
speed.
Lake Tulare is full. And you know what that means?
Nothing.
Right.
At all.
Yes.
will the El Nino affect surf fishing?
Yeah. It affects everything. I think that's why we're catching this,
Like a halibut maybe?
Well, yeah, I mean, February down in Surfside is normally, you go out there, you have to fish bait, they don't bite the lures, and you get a fish if you're lucky. And we had totally different fishing because that water's up to 60 degrees. In fact, I say that it's possible to get some early grunion runs. Next
Yeah.
full moon, next dark of the moon, when you have big tides, I'll bet that might happen because that's all based on water count, pretty much.
I think so.
Fish don't have a freaking calendar, do they?
I don't think so.
Okay. You want me to get through? You want a chicken wing, don't you? I'm trying. I'm working on this. All right. Steve Bermuda says it's past his bedtime. 6 o'clock, I thought was past your bedtime. Tyler Tanaka, here is my pre-order for a Friedman Adventures and Tackle Shop Confession shirt. All right, Sam, there you go. You got money already. Halibut Man, I have an extra surf rod for you, Isaac.
There you go.
If I give you one, I can buy a new one. Very generous, Mitchell. There you go. And Isaac thanks him. Does Alexa 500, I thought Steve was going to bed, for God's sakes. Does Alexa 500 use the mag grease oil?
No, so that it's actually not a mag.
Oh my
He
God,
got
we're
me
close to
thinking,
the end
He
here.
got me thinking that too, but it's mag sealed bearings. So there's bearings in which they have a special oil inside
Right.
that will attract any kind of particulates in there that make it not smooth. It'll attract it away from the races.
The Fuego has that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They use it in a lot of
See,
different.
I
ways.
know something once in a while.
You do know one thing. Yeah, you're right.
One thing, that's two. That's two tonight.
But from what I see here, it doesn't show it on the box, so I don't think it has the mag sealed bearings in this one.
All right, very good. Jose says Daiwa website has the specs and also says available now. Hopefully that means they'll be here before the show.
It's possible.
Okay, there you go. Josh Suman. Josh, good to see you. Hey, Sam, it's Hacky from Fallbrook.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any assist cords with a metal core? Good show, guys. Thank you so much,
don't.
Hacky. Do you know
I don't.
Hacky?
I think so, yes.
Okay,
yes,
or
I do,
Hakai,
yeah.
maybe?
I don't think
Hacky,
so.
Hacky.
I think, the ones that I've seen out there, pretty much guys are kind of making where they'll take that hollow assist cord, and they'll just run some of the multi-strand wire right through the middle of it. So, but I don't know of any of that comes already like that.
Tim Marquez wants to know if you carry any handles for the Daiwa Fuego 3000. That's only if people that bring in bacon jerky.
Yeah, maybe for
Isn't
the
that
bacon
it?
jerky guys, yeah. But
You don't have any handles?
No, I don't.
All right, Tony says thank you. Thank you, Tony, for being here. Nautical tenderness or tender seas?
Tendencies, yeah. Tendencies.
I'm so tired, I can't even see straight. Gents, I filled a Busby 28D box with irons, starting to think it's overkill with about 40 irons. Sam, on your last trip to Cedros, how, if any, irons did you lose at any given time?
I didn't.
40
actually.
irons a lot of iron to
Yeah,
bring,
too
right?
many. So one of the things you got to remember is, the amount of weight that you're taking down there. Now, if you're not planning to bring any fish back, you don't have to worry about that too much. But the amount of weight that you can bring back, not including your rods, but this is including your reels, your clothing, your bags, and your fish is going to be 72 pounds total. So if you put that in perspective, you load up 45 pounds worth of stuff, you can bring back about, 25 pounds or 25, 26 pounds worth of stuff, of fish back. So, do that accordingly. I wouldn't take that many jigs down there. When I went down there, I didn't lose one jig. I think if you went down there with 2 yo-yo irons, maybe 6 or 7 surface irons, you'd be more than plenty. The one thing that's a big variable that you can take a lot of, and you may or may not need it, is plastics for bass, because that's something that is kind of more of a consumable. You can go through a lot of it. But on our last trip that we had in September, we didn't have that good of bass fishing. We had okay bass fishing, but it wasn't that good. But even with that okay bass fishing, I probably went through maybe a dozen tails. I can imagine if it's full speed like it is at times, you can go through 100 tails or more.
Yeah.
So, and those weigh a lot, so take that into consideration, how much bass fishing you want to do. If you want to do a lot of it, you want to take a lot of plastics. And as another side note too, a couple of the guys just dropped off of our Cedros trip. It was actually a family. Something came up where they had they couldn't make it.
So you got some openings.
So we got some openings.
Great.
It's going to be the trip right after Labor Day in September. Is that Labor Day? Yeah, Labor Day.
That's a great time to fish there.
I mean, the bass fishing wasn't good for our trip, but I think that might have had to do something else with something else going on down there. The yellowtail fishing was incredible, though. I mean, it was as many as you wanted. I know I caught and released at least 50 of them or something like that. It was a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really, really good fishing. So if you guys are interested in going fishing with us, check on the Cedros Sport Fishing website, and you'll see our trip on there available.
All right, excellent. Hit that like button, everybody. How many likes we have? Because mine's frozen, so I have no idea.
10 likes.
10 likes.
110. 110.
Jim Stadler's got 10 of them by himself,
Yes.
so nobody's done any, right? Hey, hit that like button, everybody. We appreciate it. This show will be archived. Bart Hall tomorrow here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel, talking about his great show coming up this weekend. Danny Pan. How about a raffle? Alexa 500, Sam.
How about it?
You want to do it?
No. I don't have one. I don't have one to
Wait a
raffle.
minute.
I wish I did.
Hold on. Let's do a raffle. $20 a ticket, and we're only going to sell 300 tickets.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
What's that, $6,000?
$6,000,
Something like that?
yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I will.
I'll split that
This
with
guy
Sam.
would. Yeah.
Greg Sheridan, great show. A question for both of you. Greg, thanks for being here, by the way. Which of the following do you prefer? Getting ripped on a live bait or getting
Jig.
ripped on the iron? I can answer for Sam, and he answered for me.
Yeah.
Iron is by far the best, man. Boom, right? When you're winding on that
Not
thing.
much
It's
like
so
it,
much
yeah.
fun. Chris Navarro, nothing better than your jig coming up to an abrupt stop or crashed on the surface. Totally true, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff. Boy, no commentary from you at all. Like, read the last 2 questions. Let's get to the chicken wings. I know what's going on. Michael, microwave those wings. The show is almost over. Yeah, you can look at them. They look like they're almost petrified at this point, don't they? Yeah, it looks like something you find in PV. Hey, I think it's a fish fossil. Looks like it was a blue perch, maybe. Tyler Tanaka, Turbo T. There has been 5 multi-year La Nina events this century. This guy is on
Wow.
it. 98,
that guy
2000,
on your
2000, he is, man. 2010, 2011, 2016, 17, 2020, 2022. And since 2010 have produced amazing bluefin tuna seasons. There's the answer. This is supposed to be a really -2. So it's supposed to get pretty darn cold, but hey man, albacore and bluefin, I'm all about it. Greg Sheridan, thumbs up. No more questions. What do you want to do?
Next week I'll be -1.
-2. We got Friedman Adventures shirts. We got the Lexa 500. We've got Bart Hall. So I have 2 guys that wanted 2 tickets, but I'm giving Sam
Careful.
8 tickets.
Alrighty.
And Sam's got them. So the guys that ordered them or requested them, you can come and get them. And then if you happen to come in and see Sam and you're going to the, oh, wait a minute, I need 2 of those. Wait a minute. He's got 6. I think I'm going to the show with Dan or Gifford. I might need more. I'm really shot tonight. I don't know if you can tell, but I will be up bright and early for the morning briefing tomorrow, Sam. And I will have Bart Hall with another great podcast that we did today just a few hours ago. Michael, thank you for being here. Our studio audience, scintillating audience. Are you looking at something that you need to
there's a
respond
question
to?
over there, yeah.
Oh, okay. And right when we thought we were out of here, it's not going to. Chris Navarro, Sam, cost of the Cedros trip.
$32.90.
$32.90.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
I think it is. So that's one of their longer trips. That's a 6-day trip.
What does it cover?
So that's your flight. That's going to be all your fishing expenses down there, all your food, your fish cleaning, and they have a vacuum seal processing just like you would at San Diego. The only thing it doesn't cover is if you wanted to buy any kind of alcohol down there, or
Booze is cheap in Mexico.
yeah, and that doesn't cost anything. And then tips for the crew and for the staff down there.
Little Presidente, get a ballena or 2.
And you
Back in my drinking
and if
days.
you wanted, since you're going to leave it down there, you can bring it down with you on the way down if you want. If you had something favorite like some kind of whatever, drink or whatever, bottle of something. If you want to bring some wine or whatever, you could just bring it down with you.
Any reel covers for the Lexa 500?
I'm sure there's something out there. I think maybe I would probably try that large Phoenix reel cover, probably fit that thing, but we'll have to kind of see what's out there. I don't think Daiwa has anything already pre-made that says Lexa 500 or something like that on there, but I'm sure there's got to be something out there that'll fit it.
All right, perfect. Tony says, good evening, and thanks again for spending the time to do this show. Tony, thanks for being with us. I love doing this show with Sam. It's always so much fun. Chris Navarro, good night, guys. Great show. Worm King Swim Baits.
There he is.
We get to tell Fish that we hope he's feeling better. Hey, Fish, who was that made that catch up there in the Channel Islands? I picked up my first Abbott last year, and now Lexa 500. I'm convinced I got to have one. So he's going to get one too. And we hope he's feeling better.
Yeah, man,
His
get
lovely
better.
wife, Kim, we really hope you're doing good. And Tyler Tanaka's already emailed Rosie.
Get on it, Tyler. It's
He's going to
fun.
go on that trip,
Well,
man.
he was at Cedros last year too, so.
Oh, with
Yeah,
you guys?
No. He went on another trip, but he knows the deal. It's an awesome place.
Yeah, it totally is. Hey, Fish, we hope you're doing better. I'm going to run out there. You can tell everybody where you're located, the guys that need to pick up their tickets.
Yeah.
Great show. Great shirt you got on there, Sam. We're loving it.
21809 Avalon Boulevard, city of Carson. We are here Monday through Saturday. We'll be here next Monday as well, loading up the truck. After that, we'll be gone. But this show is this weekend anyway, so you got to come before then. You can reach us at 310-707-1205 or email sam@islandfishingtqckle.com. Or you can also reach me through Instagram or Facebook, just at Island Fishing Tqckle.
Do you want to read those last 2 comments?
Here we go. It says, do you know what other booths will have the Lexa 500? I don't. I imagine all the major booths, like us, Fisherman's Access, Catch 'em Tackle, Melton, maybe Turner's. That's probably all I can think off the top of my head. I think Fisherman's Landing. All the bigger booths will probably have them there. Next question here. Great save, Phil and Sam. Thought we were going to get left with part 2, but turned it around. And
Good job, Sam.
Great, Michael. That was from Cool Granddaddy Sweets Forever. Halibut Man says, fish in the house. Can't wait to fish with you soon, bud. Hope for speedy recovery. J-Bay, good stuff, boys. Good evening.
All right. Hey, thanks, everybody, for being here. Michael, Sam, our studio audience, Bob Gifford for providing all the food. Dan Lightfoot in the back here. Hey, look at Dan for making all the noise and dropping things and talking on his phone during the show. Jim Stadler, great to have you here. And everybody else is running. Hey, great to have all of you here with us. Thanks. Have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early on The Morning Briefing.